Sports 56 Middays is delivered by FedEx. Visit FedEx.com/e-commerce to learn how FedEx can help your business thrive online. The first hour of Sports 56 Middays is also brought to you by Action247.com. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
I got a piece of land out in the countryside. Lay back and smell the sun. Warm up the Georgia pie. Feels so good to be taking it easy. Why would I ever leave? 'Cause I know I got some good friends that live.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday to you. I hope you had a terrific weekend. Week 1 of the National Football League. I'm sure a lot of people were tuned into the games over the weekend. And, of course, 2 more tonight. We'll have those games for you right here on Sports 56. Looking forward to watching on television, or if you just want to listen, you certainly can. But a double dip with the Steelers and the Giants, followed by the Titans and the Broncos. We welcome you into the Monday, September 14th, 2020 edition of Sports 56 Middays. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Gabe Kuhn. We're in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road. That is just north of I-40. Sports 56 Middays delivered each and every day by our title and presenting sponsor, and that's FedEx. COVID-19 has changed the world and our way of life, but rest assured that FedEx is still here, open and ready to deliver for you. Learn more at FedEx.com/coronavirus. And Action247.com, we talked about that, and we'll continue to talk about that as that is a first-hour sponsor of the program and something that is coming our way. And we look forward to that and having legal online gambling in the state of Tennessee. And if it was already in play, Eli, I don't think I would have had a good weekend in NFL. We'll talk about that today. College football, we'll wrap that up as well from week number 2. Although a lot of people are calling it week 1. How can you call it week 1 when there were like games last weekend? But in any case, Barrett Sallee is going to join us as he does every Monday at 11:25. College football writer and TV analyst for CBS Sports, CBS host, or I should say Sirius XM College Radio host as well. Barrett Sallee at 11:25. We'll have the latest on the Big Ten as the Big Ten turns, the soap opera that's sweeping the nation. Also, the NBA playoffs, the Major League Baseball, a no-hitter thrown by a former UT Martin pitcher. We will discuss that on the program. And, of course, the Tigers in the news big time with the cancellation of their game, or we should say postponement, hopefully, of their game Friday against Houston. This Friday's game is off the books, and we'll talk about that situation as well. But a lot to get into on the program today. Hope you had a good weekend. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, it was a interesting weekend. Some ups, some downs. But overall, I guess it was okay.
I think it was good in the sense that we did have the NFL back, and I'll be curious to see what the numbers are. Thursday night's opener between the Chiefs and the Texans did not draw as well as it has in the past. Now, that's a little skewed because the numbers are still strong. It's NFL football. There were still a lot of people watching on Thursday night, but not as many as last year. And I'll be curious, like I said, to see what the numbers are from yesterday with a full slate of games on Sunday throughout the day, and then the game Sunday night, last night between your Cowboys and the Rams. But other than that, it was just another bad weekend because with the Tigers, obviously that's something important to me since I work the games, doing the sideline reporting for the broadcast, and now knowing that that game is off for Friday after their nice victory over Arkansas State. Arkansas State, with their players that could play, they had a lot of positive tests and a lot of that tracing deal where they couldn't bring all their players, and they went to Manhattan and knocked off Kansas State. So they were able to play their game despite the positive test, but Memphis is off the boards for Friday against Houston, and that's become a major story here in the area.
Yeah, and obviously there's been a lot of talk about what caused the outbreak on the team, whether there was a party bus or not a party bus or what they were doing and all of that stuff. The school said that it was social activities outside of football activities that they believe caused this. So it's unfortunate. Obviously, but this is part of what this season is, and said it from the get-go. I asked Ross Bjork this. I've asked Keith Carter this. I've asked others this. How do you try and make sure that college kids don't act like college kids in order to be able to keep the season going? And because there's not punishment. You can't suspend them or something because they're out doing social activities. And this is going to be the reality of it is college kids are going to be college kids. So whether there was a party bus or not, if this was because they got together to celebrate a victory, that's not real shocking.
No, not at all. And we expected there to be outbreaks like this. They are not in a bubble. They are not secluded from everybody else. They are in the general population when it's not football activities that they're involved in. The coaches can only do so much. They can't watch 100 and something players all the time or tell them they can't do anything. They have to stay in their apartments. They have to stay in their dorms, wherever they are. And that makes it, like you said, very easy for young men, young women to go out and to have fun, to do what normal kids would do or young adults would do. And yes, I mean, some people may look at it and go, well, you got a football season here. You need to be worried about that. You can't be going out and having a good time and party and all that. Look, you just won, like you said, the game against Arkansas State. And you're probably going to let off some steam. Now, we don't know all the details. We had O'Brien Goodson on social media who said we did not have any such thing. There was no party bus. And then he took the next step and kind of threw the blame at Arkansas State. Now, I've been in contact with Arkansas State officials this morning, and they are just like every other school, including the University of Memphis. They're not giving details, information, exact numbers, and things of that nature when it comes to COVID-19. Although I had read there was over 20 players that were missing and a number of starters, and some say 11 or 13. But in any case, obviously they had players that could not participate. They kept them home. They went to Manhattan, and they still won the football game. With Memphis, it became such a big story that I'm sure the American Conference and Mike Oresco needed answers very quickly, as did Houston. And once they decided to postpone that game, which hopefully will be made up in early December, you saw what Houston did, because Houston hasn't played a game yet. They went ahead and they scheduled a game with Baylor because Baylor was also short a game. So it's next man up, and that's unfortunate for Memphis. And it seems like, Gabe, if you can join us in this conversation as well, it seems like it was mostly, if not all, defensive players. Is that what? Am I correct with that?
A good amount. I wouldn't say. See, I don't know enough about all the tests. I know there was some offensive linemen out for the first game too, so I wouldn't assume that it's all defense. But from what I understand, as far as starters go, it's a lot of defensive starters.
And it can easily be, like you said, they were missing some some players for the opening game against Arkansas State. Right? We know that, okay? They didn't come out and they said specific names or specific numbers, but we knew they were missing players. So who knows when somebody else could contact from you, not contact, but contract the illness from you, the virus, and then it shows up as a positive test. It doesn't have to happen immediately, right? It can happen within, I think, a 2-week incubation period. Mm-hmm. So that could easily have been just guys that got it from the players that were held out of the game, as opposed to some big party bus. Now, there are some people that say, oh, they saw the bus, they did this. None of that's confirmed. None of that's confirmed.
You think it would be easy to confirm, too, which is weird to me. But I think O'Brien, though, as far as the tweet goes, he needs to be careful about throwing out those accusations.
Yes.
Because that's more – I mean, the party bus is an indictment on the character of some of the players. The saying that Arkansas State gave you it is an indictment on the football season.
That's right. It's also reckless.
Yeah,
just
100%.
Throw that out there.
But it's an indictment on playing football safe, which I think everybody wants to do, or as safe as possible. And if that truly is the case, that's not good. That is really not good.
So the Tigers have suspended all practices and team activities because of the positive COVID-19 tests and the contact tracing. Now, Ryan Silverfield's going to do his normal Monday get-together with the media. He's actually fielding questions that are going to be submitted to him. And then nothing has been in person anyway. Everything has been like Zoom meetings. So he'll have more to say, but I don't know how in depth, if he even touches the category, the subject at all, about what's happening here. We do know that they're not practicing, and we don't know when they return to practice and football activities. But they don't have a game this week, so they have plenty of time to get ready for Texas San Antonio, assuming everything is good on the COVID-19 front as far as positive tests are concerned. That'll be a week from this Friday.
Yeah, and we'll see. I would think that they would be able to get guys back, or at least enough guys back, I guess, and be able to go on and play that game. It is weird that they're going to be, they played that first game at home and now not going to be home again for over a month. I mean, you're basically going to go almost 6 weeks between home games if everything is played as we think it will be played going forward. So that makes things a little difficult. But yeah, I mean, even if they do play the San Antonio game, it's okay. When are they able to get enough guys back and be able to resume practice? Obviously you had last week off, so you've had some preparation, but you haven't been thinking about San Antonio. So now, when can you start preparing for them with players out on the field? It makes things extremely difficult. There's a lot of challenges that are involved with this, but that's part of it. If you want to play, and they want to play, and we want them to play, you're going to deal with some stumbling blocks along the way when you're dealing with college kids.
In the meantime, one of the Tigers' reserve receivers announced over the weekend that he is going to opt out after starting with the team. So he's opting out. Coy Fairman is going to opt out. The decision made because his family has been hit hard with COVID-19, so he gave it a go and decided, with everything that's happening now around the program, to opt out. So again, that's certainly his prerogative, and we wish him well. Texas San Antonio, by the way, did play over the weekend and held off a charging Texas State. They had opened up a big lead and ended up holding on for their dear life, and they win the football game. So again, it won't be until a week from this Friday that we see Memphis again in action. In the meantime, the SEC still a week or so away, right? A week from this Saturday, they'll start their game, so they got some time. The Big 12 and the ACC, many of their teams played over the weekend. Not all, but many. We will discuss that on the program today. And the polls came out, both the coaches' poll and the writers' poll. And what's interesting, after the preseason polls had included teams that aren't playing right now, like, for example, Ohio State or USC, this week, none of those teams were in there, except for the coaches' poll. Somehow Boise State got some votes, and they're in the Mountain West, which is not playing. But the AP coaches' poll did come out, and as you would imagine, Memphis moved up, not only because of the win, but because other teams had dropped out because they're not in the polls anymore. So Memphis in the coaches' poll sits at number 15, and in the AP poll, they are number 16. Clemson is 1, Alabama 2, then Oklahoma, Georgia, and Florida round out your top 5. Other teams of note, LSU 6th, Auburn is 8th, Texas A&M is 10th. They just lost one of their stud receivers who opted out as well. Cincinnati 13, UCF 14, then Tennessee is 15, and Memphis is 16. So the Tigers are third highest from the American Conference in the AP poll. Other teams of note, Louisiana, after their win at Iowa State, their first ever road win against a top 25 team, they're in the poll for the first time since Abraham Lincoln was president. BYU 21, Army's 22, Kentucky's 23. Then App State and Pittsburgh round out your top 25. So I guess that's some good news for Memphis.
Yeah, and I thought maybe they would get a little bit more of a bump with the fact of Arkansas State beating Kansas State, that people would kind of give that win over Arkansas State a little bit more credit, and they would maybe even jump over, and become the top-rated American Conference team. But this being the polls and the way people vote, that would be putting probably too much work into it. Most people probably just went right down the line and said, I got to eliminate them. That means these move up. That eliminate them. These move up. And then, of course, today, who knows? We might find out that the Big Ten is going to start playing. I want to know if the Big Ten decides they're going to start playing like in late October. Do their teams immediately come back into the polls, or what are the polls going to do with the Big Ten teams then? Do they come back in? Do they leave them out? How do you handle the Big Ten at that point?
I think they end up voting them back in. That would be my guess because
do they wait till they actually start playing, or do they start voting them back in immediately, like 6 weeks before they start playing?
That's a good question. I have no idea. But the thought is that the Big Ten will come back and play an abbreviated schedule to make sure that they qualify for the possibility of getting selected as a member of the four-man playoff elite, the elite group. So, in other words, you're not going to have a season, in my opinion, now I could be wrong, where the Big Ten decides, all right, we're going to come back. We're going to start November 1st. We're going to play 10 games, and we're going to roll into mid-January and have our championship game. No, they are going to make sure that schedule jives with what's happening elsewhere in the country so they can get, presumably, Ohio State in, as Nicole Auerbach has written about, and others. So that is probably what's going to happen as far as the voting is concerned for the poll. I would think that they would more than likely be eligible right away. I mean, it's the decision of the voter. They can do whatever they want. But I would have to think, Eli, that the voters were told probably with a group email or group text not to include those teams this week.
Well, this was their plan from the get-go. When the preseason poll came out, Ralph Russo, because people were asking why are these teams that aren't playing, we know they're not playing, included in the preseason poll, and Ralph Russo, the AP at that time, said they will be dropped out of our first regular season poll when it comes out on September the 13th or whatever, that weekend. They're going to eliminate all those teams, but they just decided to include them for the preseason poll, and that is it.
Gotcha.
So, but that's the thing. Like the SEC is still getting voted, even though they haven't started their season. So what's the cutoff that you could vote them ahead of their season starting if the Big Ten does decide to start a season at the end of October, which will be interesting with that whole playoff thing. And I've said that from the beginning that if you're the Big Ten, you've got to try and figure out a way. Like whenever you're starting, if you're starting it at all during the other team season, you've got to try and get a way for the playoff to actually consider you.
Yes.
Because it'd be dumb. Because I even said, if they start Thanksgiving, are they going to try and get the playoff to push it back a couple of weeks? But if you start at the end of October, I mean, you're going to have to you're going to have to get the playoff people to agree, to hold off on naming their teams. Because right now, the plan is that all of the other championship games are played, done by December 19th. I guess would be everybody's done at that point. Mm-hmm. Well, if you're starting in the end of October or early November, I mean, that's what you'd only be able to get 5 or 6 games in at most by then. Is that going to be? Is the playoff committee going to be willing to consider teams off of 6 games played, or are you going to make out an agreement with the playoff people that wait till January 1st to announce your teams so we can get 8 games in this season or something like that? I wonder how that's all going to work and how that will be worked out by the people with the playoff committee in, I guess, consultation with the Big Ten if the Big Ten does decide to actually play in the quote-unquote fall.
Yeah, first things first, right? Does the Big Ten decide to do so? And what's interesting is that people expected a vote over the weekend after the powers that be had meetings, discussed the situation. You would think that there would be a revote right away. Nope. We're sitting here on Monday morning. There has not been a vote whatsoever. And you have the parent of the one player from Ohio State, what's his name, who ended up opting out, who was very adamant about let's get it. Come on, how can you have this discussion and not vote? You have all the information in front of you. What are you waiting for? Do you know who I'm talking about? Whose kid just opted out?
It's the cornerback, Sean Wade.
Wade, exactly. His dad has been very vocal, one of the most vocal parents out there, and now all of a sudden he probably just said over the weekend and talked to his son, listen, they're screwing around here. They're screwing around. They should have re-voted for this thing. All it is talk, and talk is cheap. So do what you want to do, and then the son bailed out. So, but that doesn't mean that they still won't have a vote today or tomorrow or sometime this week. But your questions are all good questions. I think they would probably start mid-October because they have been practicing, although Wisconsin shut down things for a while there. They're still practicing. It's going to take a while to get ready, but I don't think it's going to be end of October, early November. And I think what they'll do is they will put the schedule together where they'll play maybe 9 conference games, and that's it. And they'll get a team that will probably make it to the playoff or at least get given good consideration. Because I'm telling you, they are not going to set up a season where they are not eligible because of the schedule to get into the playoff. The whole thing is the playoff. Right now, I'm telling you, if they turn around and they decide that they're going to play football, they already look like buffoons. And people are saying, well, what's different? Yeah, there's more testing. I know there's more testing. There's more opportunity to get results back quicker and all that. But it hasn't changed anything about the heart, and which is their biggest problem is that heart disease. So I think they're just dilly-dallying. Now they're worried about lawsuits. They're worried about not being a part of the playoff. I think reality has hit them about revenue and the money that's brought in from the television contracts. And I think they're going to end up revoting here in the next few days and vote to play and try to structure their schedule so that they are eligible for the playoff. That's my best guess.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make any sense to play in the fall or whatever you want to call this if you're not going to be part of the playoff. And again, they will have no reasonable explanation if they do decide to start in October. They will have no reasonable explanation for why they're going now. They think it's okay to play where they didn't before.
But they'll say it's improved testing, it's more testing.
Well, they're going to say that they got more information from their medical experts, and they've changed their they feel it is safer to play, or something like that. But it's just. It's just dumb. I mean,
and
it's dumb. It was, if you didn't think it was safe then, there's no reason to think it's any safer now to actually play the games.
Yes, it's absolutely ludicrous what they're doing. Here's the other thing. Brett McMurphy had reported this yesterday on Twitter that all the schools are together. In other words, if they vote to come back, all of them will come back and play. It's not like 3 will decide not to play. Now, Dan Patrick this morning, Dan Patrick obviously has had somebody on the inside with the Big Ten feeding him this information because he has had a lot of things to say on his show about the Big Ten. Here's the latest. This is an hour ago. The presidents and chancellors will vote today. Michigan probably not going to play. Michigan State not going to play. Maryland's probably not going to play. But you're going to get Nebraska, Iowa, Purdue, Indiana, Ohio State, Wisconsin. They want to play. But may not be able to. No. Again, according to the story yesterday, is that it's all for one for all. I don't see the Big Ten divided, where some teams are playing and some teams won't.
You don't see the Big Ten divided right now? That's all they are, is divided
now.
No,
they're not divided. They're all they're divided within the ADs, coaches versus the chancellors and the presidents. I'm talking about the chancellors and the presidents are all on the same page. They don't want to play. But now with this new information and knowing that financially that they are getting destroyed, they're probably going to give in. But what I'm saying is I don't believe they will give in where they agree that 6 teams are going to play and 14 teams? 8 teams won't. I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. Listen, if you want to comment on this or anything college football, we're going to come back and talk about the weekend in college football. Then Barrett Salih will join us. We'll have NFL discussion. We got a lot to talk about from the National Football League Week 1 later in the show. And don't forget about our 5 favorite songs. That'll come your way at 12:05. 12:05, and the category today is up. The topic is up, so anything with up in it is perfect. You can text in your lists at 67129. That's the First Bank text line. Or if you're watching us live, you can message us with the lists at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and Instagram. Also, if you have any comments or thoughts about the Memphis situation, text in as well on the First Bank text line at 67129. Town Village Audubon Park is senior living in today's world, offering more options to fit your needs more than ever before, and dedicated to the long-term satisfaction and the quality of life for their residents. All they ask is that you're 55 years of age or older. They're located at 950 Cherry Road. It's just off Park Avenue. We've done a number of remotes over there. It's a real nice place, and certainly the residents who have told us firsthand that they absolutely love it there. And I think if you have a loved one or even yourself down the road that you're thinking about, you're going to love it as well. Independent living. They have short-term and respite stay opportunities, monthly options, great event schedule with activities galore and amazing food. Everything you need to continue to enjoy life to its fullest. So if you're thinking about this for mom or dad, for your grandfather or grandmother, or again, for yourself, any loved one, think Town Village Audubon Park in the heart of East Memphis at 950 Cherry Road, just off Park Avenue. Call them at 901-537-0002. That's 901-537-0002. They will give you all the information you need, or you can find out online at townvillageaudubonpark.com. It's Town Village Audubon Park Senior Living in today's world. We're just underway on a Monday. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Sports time on Sports 56 with Wallo and Stats. Weekday afternoons from 3 till 6. Right here on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 FM.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. You've heard me talk about how we offer the best products, the best warranties, and the best services for years. Now let's talk about pricing. Pricing should never be the only reason you hire a contractor, but in today's world, pricing is always a consideration. So we suggest you get 2 or 3 estimates for your roof replacement from a reputable, licensed, and insured company, and then give us a call. If we can't beat your best price for a comparable roof system by more than $100, we'll give you $100. It's that simple. We are so sure we can offer you the best price, beating all other qualified companies, we will hand you $100 if we can't, and thank you for the opportunity. So give us a call. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Make $100? Fiveash Roof Services, a proud supporter of Tiger Athletics and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Fiveash Roof Services, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing is what we do. We're here for you.
Case IH is a proud supporter of the Mississippi Farm Bureau, and thanks to a membership benefits partnership, Mississippi Farm Bureau members receive a discount of up to $500 on every qualifying Case IH tractor and piece of equipment you purchase. This discount may be used with other promotions, rebates, or offers. So join Mid-South Ag Equipment and the Mississippi Farm Bureau and pocket up to $500 in savings. Call Mid-South Ag at 662-890-3141 to get your discount today.
You'll see the dedication in every single step. You'll see it in the smiles when smiles are hard to get. You'll see it in the little things that add up to success. The caring and passion are the things that we love best.
Wolf Chase Lemon Brace is your Mid-South provider for orthotics and prosthetics. They are an ABC-accredited facility, and their practitioners are ABC certified. At Wolf Chase Lemon Brace, their services include artificial limbs, legs and arms, braces of all kinds, and custom molded inserts. You can call them today at 901-507-7821 for their location on Highway 64 in between Germantown Parkway and Appling Road, or visit them at their new location in Jackson, Tennessee. That number is 731-660-5900, or visit them on the web at wolfchaselemonbrace.com.
Chase Lim and Brace.
What do you want a da-da-da? What do y'all want a da-da-da? I have no idea what a da-da-da. We could switch to Progressive da. Oh, yeah? We could switch to Progressive and sa. Okay. We could sa and have to buy some za. Oh, yeah. Let's switch to Progressive to da and get some za with the money we saw. Yeah. Now we know we're gonna da-da-da.
These days, nothing is normal and everything is weird. But you could still save big when you switch to Progressive. It might just be the most normal thing you da-da-da.
Quote to da at Progressive.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Farmers Insurance knows that when you're in the car and that song comes on, ah, yes, that's the one, you have no choice but to pull out your imaginary drumsticks and smash those cymbals and stomp on that kick pedal, which unfortunately is the accelerator pedal. And we covered it. Talk to a farmer's agent who knows a thing or two because they've seen a thing or two.
Call Chad Gatlin at 901-235-1176 or get a fast quote at memphisfarmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays delivered by FedEx. Visit FedEx.com/e-commerce to learn how FedEx helps small businesses grow every day. This hour is also brought to you by Action247.com. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Cause I'm a picker, I'm a grinner, I'm a lover.
The American now announces its Players of the Week, which encompasses the first 2 weeks of the season. And Brady White, Tigers quarterback, is your offensive player of the week in the American. Tulane defensive end Cameron Sample is your defensive player. Sean Dykes also made the honor roll after his terrific game for the Tigers in their opener with 10 catches for 137 yards and 2 touchdowns.
It's pretty impressive to win player of the week when you didn't even play.
Again.
I don't know why they didn't just hand out a player of the week last week and a player of the week this week. But
well, and I saw some national guys saying, it's the first week of college football. I'm thinking, what about last week? Does that not count? And that's not even to mention the one game that we had that 1 week between UCA and Austin P, which certainly I wouldn't consider that a week with just the one game.
Well, that's not FBS, so that's
true. But Memphis and that
last week was
2 weekends ago was
last week was week 0.
Absolutely, week 0. I hate that stuff. All right, so we mentioned Arkansas State with a number of players down. Went to Kansas, went to Manhattan, Kansas, the Little Apple, and beat Kansas State 35-31. Jonathan Adams Jr. with 3 touchdown catches. He was absolutely sensational. They win it in the final minute. Just a great win for Blake Anderson, bouncing back after that loss at Memphis.
Yeah, they were impressive, and they made the drive there at the end to win the game. Adams was just unstoppable, which I give Memphis did a good job against him. Very good job in that game against him because he is he's just the next line. One, I guess, in that line of receivers there. They continue to produce. The receivers had the great pair last year. But, yeah, that's it. I mean, and you wonder, again, this goes back to how much of an advantage was there to have a game under your belt versus somebody who did not have a game under their belt. But because Arkansas State certainly looked good, and Kansas State, while they didn't look terrible, had some issues at time. I do think, though, that for Arkansas State, they need to figure out which one of those quarterbacks they want to go with. I just don't understand the whole rotating the way they are rotating them with the quarterbacks.
I remember years ago at Florida when they did it with the rotating quarterbacks, and it worked. But for the most part, it doesn't. It doesn't. But so far, it's worked for Blake Anderson. I mean, he's a good coach, and I have a lot of faith in him, and he has a lot of faith in those 2 quarterbacks. But it's interesting. And you mentioned about the teams that had the one game under their belt, and I thought that could be a difference maker. Even though I didn't have Arkansas State to win the game, I had them to cover. But if you think about it, Miami on Thursday night beat UAB. Miami's first game, UAB had already played a game. Texas San Antonio won over Texas State. Texas State had already played a game against SMU. So it's nothing concrete, but you think having the one game under your belt gives you a little bit of an advantage. And Memphis would have had the one game under their belt versus a Houston team that would not have had one if they had played this Friday. But again, that's off. Hopefully will be rescheduled in early December. The Sun Belt goes 3-0 versus the Big 12. The Big 12 wishes they had opted out. Louisiana over number 23, Iowa State, and the Ragin' Cajuns look terrific. And then Coastal Carolina, for a second straight year, knocks off Kansas.
Yeah, I mean, the Les Miles thing at Kansas, I didn't understand it really to start. It doesn't appear as if it's really going to go anywhere. Mm-hmm. I mean, that Coastal Carolina, and I mean, it ends up 38-23. It wasn't even nearly that close. Like, Coastal Carolina was dominant in that football game. Kansas couldn't do anything against them.
No, look, they went out and they got Les Miles. They went out and they got a name. You're Kansas, and you have a struggling football program for so many years. Mark Mangino had them playing well when he was their coach, but for the most part, Kansas has been an inferior, feeble program. So you bring in a name like Les Miles, you try to get some attention to the program, but you're right. It makes no sense. I think a young, eager, hungry, up-and-coming coordinator makes more sense, Gabe, doesn't it?
And I think they try. I think that's what Les Miles tried to do. I think he got a guy off of Gus Malzahn's Auburn staff. I think he was an analyst, though. I don't know if he was ever. Yeah, so, and that's what I was going to mention. I think they lost that game purely because of coaching. I mean, when you look at what they were doing offensively, it was just 5-yard out after 5-yard slant after 5-yard out, run inside, 5-yard out. There was no inventiveness to it. And I really don't know if it was a lack of talent, because when you look at Coastal Carolina versus Kansas, Kansas has at least decent players that could keep up, but coaching-wise, they just looked like they were outclassed.
Kansas, for a head coach, Kansas, they need to find a master recruiter. Like, I mean, at the end of a program like that, you have to find an amazing recruiter.
I have one for you.
And a guy who you're gonna have to do things a little differently to try and get the talent at Kansas. That is obvious. You're gonna have to find somebody who's an amazing recruiter.
I got one for you, Bill Self. Bill Self can help him out.
Well, I mean, that's part of the problem you face at Kansas. I mean, it is fully a basketball school.
But is there
but Kentucky has found a way. I mean, Mark Stoops has come into Kentucky, and he's made the football program relevant. And that, Kansas isn't going to compete for national championships. They don't even have to compete for Big 12 championships. But that program can be made relevant if they get the right head coach in there. Mark Mangino proved that.
Of the Power 5 conferences, is there a bigger division between football and basketball than at Kansas?
No, not right now.
I can't think of one. Kansas basketball is an absolute legendary blue blood program, and Kansas football is a laughingstock.
Because, North Carolina's football program is ranked. Kentucky's football program, again, not competing for SEC titles, but they're relevant. Like, they're going to bowls. Sure. They win games. Duke's football team over the past few years has made itself relevant. Like, they go to bowl games. David Cutcliffe has them. They're not terrible football programs. They go out and actually can win football games. Kansas, again, they can't even beat. You're losing back-to-back years to Coastal Carolina. Nothing against Coastal Carolina, but my gosh, that's embarrassing for Kansas. Again, and not just losing, just not even. They could have lost by 35 in this game. Coastal Carolina just was they were dominating the football game.
Also, around the nation in college football over the weekend, I just, even though it was game one, I did not expect this. I thought Mike Norvell would have Florida State's offense clicking, and it was not. Give credit to Georgia Tech and Jeff Collins. 16-13, the Ramblin' Wreck from Georgia Tech. Mike Norvell 0-1 at FSU.
Yeah, the first drive looked really good, and I was like, okay, see, that's Mike Norvell. He's just going to bring some, competency to offense. But as that game went on, you saw the problems that they have. Their offensive line is terrible, just awful, which has been a problem for them for a few years now. And Mike Norvell needs the right quarterback. He needs a good quarterback to run his offense and do the things he wants to do. He doesn't have that at Florida State right now. Blackman is not the guy to run Mike Norvell's offense. And again, there's a little bit given to him, a little leeway, because a lot of the time he is running for his life because that offensive line is so bad. But I still certainly think that he will have a whole lot of success there. But they got to do some recruiting, especially on the offensive line, to get that thing where they want it to be.
Well, I have confidence in him as well. I think he's going to turn around Florida State, but tell that to the fans, man. They are already very vocal about that first game. I still expected, even though I didn't expect anything close to a Picasso, I expected a win over Georgia Tech. And again, credit to Jeff Collins and Georgia Tech. They were ready, and defensively they played a hell of a game. Elsewhere nationally, Oklahoma buried Missouri State as expected, and Spencer Rattler, another one that's in the long line of these quarterbacks that have played under Lincoln Riley or Bob Stoops at Oklahoma, putting up huge numbers, 5 touchdown passes in his first start.
Yeah, if you're a quarterback of any ability at all, it's pretty much proven. Like, Lincoln Riley you're going to put up big numbers in his offense. Lincoln Riley can coach. He can coach offense for sure. He's just one after another. It doesn't matter. Lincoln Riley's going to put you in a position as a quarterback to be extremely successful.
Clemson over Wake Forest. They don't cover the spread. They win 37-13, and all eyes were on Trevor Lawrence. Fairly pedestrian game, but a solid game nonetheless as Clemson wins. Texas buries UTEP. Again, expected, 59-3. Sam Ehlinger, who is certainly a Heisman candidate, 5 touchdown passes. But the odd thing about that game was B.J. Foster, who is a terrific safety, quits the team in the middle of the game. Have you ever heard of that? In the middle of the game?
It's strange for somebody to quit in the middle of a game that you're winning mightily. It's just odd timing to think, what makes you in the middle of that game decide that, yeah, no, what, I don't want to do this. I'm done.
I heard it was playing time, but why wouldn't he have been? When they're blowing him out, they went to the second teamers? I don't understand.
I've never seen someone willingly quit. I've seen someone get kicked out,
right,
and kicked off at halftime,
right,
but never someone willingly quit at halftime.
Yeah, after the game, maybe the next day. That was just strange. So when I saw that story, I had to double check on this guy. I got to be honest with you, I'm not real familiar with him, and I thought maybe it was a backup player, and he was just. No, this is a stud. This is a stud player. So That was weird.
We had, who was it in the NFL that somebody quit in the middle of a game last year in the NFL? Who was it that somebody did that last year in the NFL?
Did they?
But it's not normally. I want to say that was in a game that they were getting like killed. Like when you're up, like when you're just dominating a game, you think everybody's just so happy on the sidelines. Like it's a good time. You're actually getting to play football this year when you didn't know if you would. You're killing this terrible team on the other side. Like, yeah, life's good. Everything else. Like that's just a weird time to be. You're like, no, this is miserable for me. I'm done. I'm out. I just can't do this.
It would be the opposite of the consummate team player. The player obviously didn't care about the team, cared about himself and his playing time. I mean, this is, I could think of Roberto Duran in boxing. No mas, he quit. He quit on it, but he's getting his butt beat up. This guy is, like you said, should be happy that his team is rolling in their first game and should be happy just for the fact they're playing football. So
Vontae Davis with the Bills last year retired at halftime.
That's right. All right, number 10, Notre Dame over Duke, 27-13. I thought Ian Book was up and down in that game. Duke with their quarterback, the transfer from Clemson. What's his name?
Chase Bryce.
Yeah, I thought he did some good things, but Notre Dame won 27-13. It was nice to see the game. It's in South Bend. It was gloomy and gray, even though we're not in October and November. You just think football when you see that.
Yeah, and it was that game was a little bit ugly too, but Notre Dame got it done, which is what they needed to do. But yeah, I mean Duke is a relevant football program. Mm-hmm. It's not the Duke of old. Like David Cutcliffe has done a fantastic job there, and they're for the most part not going to be a pushover in those games.
If you missed this bit of news, Army BYU also postponed for this weekend. Obviously, you know, Memphis and Houston, a couple of the games that are postponed.
That's because if I'm BYU, I'd be scared to play Army too. Army is just destroying teams to start the year.
You like your Army destroying teams, don't you? I feel good about the U.S. Army.
79-7 through 2 games for the Army. I mean, they are just a machine right now.
Lawn Solutions is a locally owned weed control fertilization company that serves the greater Memphis area, and they will steamroll your weeds just like the Army. Brandon Holly is the owner of the company. He has a team of professionals that can take care of your lawn. Go to lawnsolutionsinc.net or call him at 901-867-5626. Tell them I sent you. They will kill those weeds, get you that green, plush, beautiful lawn, be the envy of your neighborhood. They control the germination of weeds all year long. Right now they're applying the post-emergence, and then during the winter months when the grass is dormant, they're also working on your grass. They're applying pre-emergence during the winter months. They can take care of any disease your lawn has or any insect infestation. Get rid of those weeds. Call Lawn Solutions today. Call Brandon Holly at 901-867-5626 or online at lawnsolutionsinc.net. We'll get back to college football at 11:05 with Barrett Salee, and then we'll dive into the NFL at 11:30. But what's happening with the NBA playoffs? We'll update you on that when we return. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Take Sports 56 with you on your phone or tablet. Download our official Sports 56 app today.
It's buyback days. Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. Did you pay a big repair bill on your existing heating and air conditioning system this year? Is your energy-guzzling heating and air conditioning system on its last leg and you think it's worth nothing? Good news, it's buyback days at Conway Services. We'll buy back your repair this year up to $1,500 toward the purchase of select Carrier Infinity systems. That's right, we'll buy back your repair up to $1,500 even if we didn't do the repair. Just show us the receipt from another company and we'll buy back the repair. If you didn't have a repair bill this year, we'll give you up to $1,500 trade-in for that old energy-guzzling system toward the purchase of select Carrier Infinity systems. When air conditioning systems get older and inefficient, the cost of repairs and high utility costs can almost pay for a new system. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company today, and the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old heating and air conditioning system will come out and inspect it absolutely free.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Hi, this is Jay Farner, CEO of Rocket Mortgage. Making the right financial decisions has never been more important. We can help guide you to those right decisions now, when they matter most. Mortgage rates are near historic lows, so when you call 8338-ROCKET or visit us at rocketmortgage.com to start your refinance, you'll be well on your way to saving money every month. The rate today on our 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.375%, APR 3.59%. Right now could be a great time for you to take some positive financial steps forward with a cash-out refinance from Rocket Mortgage, which could give you the boost that you're looking for. In addition, we may be able to help you refinance with little or no out-of-pocket costs. At Rocket Mortgage, we're committed to every client, every time, no exceptions, no excuses, giving you the best mortgage experience. Call us today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com to learn more.
Rates subject to change. Pay 1.875% fee to receive this discounted rate. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. The storms we've had over the past several months have been devastating to our communities. The rainy season is ahead. You may have not even noticed the dripping in your attic, water stains throughout your home, or even worse, mold and mildew. Please call Brian Elder Roofing and we will send out our project managers to assess any damage. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. We will measure your roof from outer space. 0% for 60 months, even no payments till 2022 are available with approved credit. If you've noticed missing shingles, water stains, leaks in your roof, call us before you call your insurance company at 867-0303. That's 867-0303, and we will provide a free, thorough inspection of your roof's condition.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Great news, sports fans! The Butcher Shop Steakhouse is now open for dine-in service. Make a reservation and enjoy a mouth-watering steak dinner. Or, if you prefer, take it curbside. In addition to their fantastic steaks, the Butcher Shop Steakhouse has a variety of entrees, including Canadian lobster tail, crab-stuffed shrimp, pan-seared red snapper, and fresh ground steak burger with portobello mushroom sauce. Planning to cook out? The Butcher Shop Steakhouse offers a great selection of fresh Angus beef, hand-cut steaks and burgers, lamb chops, Atlantic salmon, and more. Make your reservation for dine-in or pre-order for curbside pickup. The Butcher Shop Steakhouse, dine-in, curbside, and delivery. Plus, enjoy the sizzle of top-quality Butcher Shop steaks on your own grill. Call us at 757-4244 and visit our website, thebutchershop.com, for menus and more. The Butcher Shop Steakhouse, Walnut Grove and Germantown Parkway.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays delivered by FedEx. Visit FedEx.com/e-commerce to learn how FedEx helps small businesses grow every day. This hour is also brought to you by Action247.com. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
This hour of the program is indeed brought to you by Action247.com. If you're looking for some action on your favorite games, Action 24/7, brought to you by Tennesseans for Tennesseans. Go to Action 24/7. Action, the numbers, 247.com. Right now, they got free play games up there where you can win actual cash, and it costs you nothing to play. And sports gambling, legalized sports gambling coming to the state of Tennessee. They say no later than November 1st. Don't know exactly when it's going to happen, but it's supposed to be no later than November 1st that the sports betting will be up and running here in the state of Tennessee. Action247.com.
So, Eli, tell me everything you know about Darko Rajokovic.
I know that he was an assistant coach for the Phoenix Suns. I know he's been an assistant coach for the Oklahoma City Thunder. I know that he was a G League coach for the Oklahoma City Thunder's G League team, the Tulsa. What's the Tulsa? What was the Tulsa team's nickname in the G League?
Tulsa Time. They're living on Tulsa Time.
I want to say they were a number. I want to say there was a number there, if I remember correctly.
Tulsa Time would actually be a good nickname, to be honest with you. But the reason I bring that up, and Eli's good in memorizing emails that are sent out by the Grizzlies. But anyway, the Grizzlies have added Darko Rajokovic as an assistant coach. And the reason being is Nevin Spaia, who was with the team last year, has decided.
It's Rajokovic, by the way.
Like I said, Rajokovic, Darko Rajokovic.
The O is after the Ak.
Okay, so it's Rajokovic, not Rajokovic. Rajokovic, Darko Rajokovic. But anyway, the spot became available when Nevin Spaia decided to take another opportunity overseas. So he's going back overseas for a coaching opportunity, leaves Taylor Jenkins' staff void of one assistant coach, and they went out immediately and hired this guy as the new assistant. So they got 2 new assistants now with Sonia Ramon from MIT, who they hired in the last 10 days or so, as she replaced Neil Ivey, who went to Notre Dame. So 2 new assistant coaches on the Grizzlies staff.
Do you believe, here's the real question, will Darko Rajakovic contribute more to the Grizzlies franchise than Darko Milicic did?
There's a good chance.
Who will go down as the better Darko to ever be a part of the Grizzlies franchise?
Well, this guy, Rajakovic, won't be considered a, what do you call him, the flop, a draft flop. Rajakovic, I think, has a better chance to contributing more than Darko Milicic. But now they have a Rajakovic and they have a Vitaly Potapenko on the coaching staff, and now Sonia Ramon. It's the all-name team, apparently, with the Grizzlies. And then, of course, Brad Jones.
Is it? I believe it's. Aren't we going Potapenko?
No, I thought it was Potapenko.
No, that's what he's always called as a player, but I think it was like I think it's Potapenko. That's the way they're pronouncing it now that he's a coach. I think it was one of those people that when he was a player, I think people just always pronounced it wrong, and he didn't. I guess he just never corrected anybody. And then it's like when he became a coach, he's like, now that I'm a kind of an official thing, you get my name right. Because I'm pretty sure I always hear him now say Potapenko.
You're probably right, and I give up. I'm going for these guys are going to be like Madonnas now. They're first name only. Darko Vitaly.
You can't just say Darko because there's only one true just Darko. Darko lived. I mean, he owned that first name. I don't know that this guy. I don't know that Mr. Rajakovic could come in and just go by Darko because you feel like that's reserved for the original Darko.
Yeah, Milicic should have trademarked that darn thing. So today there's no NBA playoff action. For the first time since they had the stoppage when the players basically went on strike and made their statement and then came back a few days later. This is the first day that there's no scheduled games. Yesterday, the Los Angeles Lakers, or was it Saturday? Saturday. They went out and crushed the Rockets and won that series 4-1. But yesterday, the Denver Nuggets, what did they do, Eli, yesterday? The Nuggets, they
staved again.
They staved off elimination. They beat the Clips 111-98. And now that series is even at 3. So you'll have Game 7 of that series tomorrow. The winner will take on the Lakers, I presume, starting Thursday, maybe Friday. And then the Eastern Conference Final is set. Boston winning Game 7 over Toronto, eliminating the defending champions. They will play Miami, which is well-rested. They're eager to probably get back on the court. And I think that series starts tomorrow, right? The Eastern Conference Finals?
No. Does it start tomorrow or does it start Wednesday?
Yeah, it starts tomorrow.
Does it start tomorrow? Okay, they're doing the 2 games tomorrow.
So Eastern Conference Finals starting tomorrow, and then the deciding game between the Clippers and the Nuggets, the winner to take on the Lakers. But it's interesting with the Rockets being eliminated, and I don't think anybody believed that small ball was going to win them an NBA title. It was going to be entertaining and certainly a very good team that made a good run. But when they came up against the Lakers and their size, there was no way, right? So Mike D'Antoni, who's been there for 4 years now, and the organization had, I guess, a mutual parting of ways. So Mike D'Antoni now considers himself a free agent coach, and the Rockets are in search of a new head coach. Already the names Tyronn Lue and Sam Cassell, both on Doc Rivers' staff, have emerged.
Yeah, I don't really understand this because now that you went and dedicated your roster to this style, I mean, I guess maybe theoretically if they go to Sam Cassell, which I guess seems to be the one people believe will get it, is he going to want to do this, or is he going to try and go back to a more conventional style, and then you got to change your roster all around again?
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of when this happened was what's going to happen with the replacement. And then when they mentioned Cassell, who played with the Rockets at one point, was a guard in the NBA, maybe he'll embrace the style because you can't just turn around with the contracts you have, with the players you have, and try to play a different style that you don't have the personnel to do so. So I think that's important that maybe when they hire their coach, it's going to be somebody who embraces this small ball. In the meantime, you have D'Antoni, who is the one who incorporated the small ball at Houston who's now looking for a job, and a guy who's highly regarded, another, I guess some people could say regurgitated coach, especially white coach, but he will probably find a landing spot.
Well, there was talk about him to the Pacers to begin with, so I wonder if they will be if that is a possibility that his name came up immediately for the Pacers thing, that they were interested in trying to, I guess at that point, pry him away from Houston, although it was probably believed that there wasn't going to need to be a whole lot of prying. So I don't know if that's a possibility, but the Rockets, the first thing they need to do is trade Russell Westbrook and admit the mistake they made in trading for him. Because that is, I just don't understand. I don't understand that pair. I never understood the pairing to begin with.
Nor did I.
And Westbrook just, I just every time I watch him play, I think to myself more and more like, what's he really doing for a winning team?
Tyronn Lue is a name that has been out there for Philadelphia's opening once they fired Brett Brown. So I would imagine Lue will go to Philadelphia. Good chance the Rockets hire Cassell. Then D'Antoni maybe to Indiana. You have Billy Donovan, who's still out there now. Could he end up in Chicago? Steve Nash goes to Brooklyn. OKC now needs a coach. And New Orleans still needs a coach, correct? They haven't replaced Alvin Gentry, have they?
No, I don't believe so.
Are they looking at Darko Rajakovic?
I don't believe so. By the way, though, what the Nuggets have done is pretty darn impressive.
I was joking.
I can't believe that the Nuggets have been able to force a Game 7 in this series. I can't believe what they've been able to do, coming back from 3-1 down in the first round, and then against the Clippers, who were so good, get down in that one and find a way to come back and force a Game 7 in this series. The Nuggets are really impressive.
The Clippers were up 19 points. They should have put away Denver, and they couldn't do that. So, yes, absolutely. And Nikola Jokic, 34 points, 14 rebounds, and 7 assists. The Denver bench has outplayed the Clippers bench. Montrezl Harrell's been awful. He's been awful in this series. So it's interesting because Boston and Toronto ended up going 7 when you thought Boston had it wrapped up. Toronto kept pecking back and forth, and they ended up evening the series, and they went 7, and Boston was able to win Game 7. Will this be the same situation where the Clippers lose 5 and 6 but come back, play a great game, and win 7? They get off to great starts. They just can't hold it for some reason. But Denver has been a terrific story. And if you think about it, they had the, third best record in the West?
Yes.
So they're a very capable team, especially when they're healthy. When we come back, Barrett Sallee joins us to kick off hour number 2. We'll get his thoughts on what's happening in college football, and then we'll dive into the National Football League. This is Sports 56 Middays.
Summertime and the living is easy. No more cutting or paying utilities. Literally, you guys, Town Village Audubon Park, nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. Looking for a great place to retire, but you still have a very active lifestyle? Then visit Town Village. Only requirements that you're 55 plus. Prices per month starting at $24.50. The Gourmet Chef welcomes you to visit our restaurant and bistro. Package includes 3 complimentary meals per day, maid service, free local transportation, monthly coffee club, theme dinner parties, lots of fun. Visit us and call Daniel or Bo at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home. Town Village Audubon Park.
For over 8 decades, America's farmers have counted on the Little Red Tractor from Case IH, the Farmall, to help them make short work of their demanding chores. Well, Mid-South Ag can show you they aren't just for farms anymore. With horsepower ranging from 30 to 105, plus an army of attachments, they can tackle every chore on your to-do list, from hauling and mowing to loading and towing and then some. Stop by Mid-South Ag Equipment or call 662-890-3141 to find a Case IH Farmall that's right for you.
Cleanings, checkups, and cavities? Have Dr. Chang's dental practice at capacity.
Patient in room 1 is getting a root canal. The x-rays in room 2 are going to have to wait. We're down to 1 hygienist.
It's time to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. The moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Indeed delivers 2.5 times more hires than the other branded job sites combined, according to Breezy HR 2019. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first job post. Terms and conditions apply.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM. As well as online around the world at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere on your phone or tablet by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, tell Google or Alexa to play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned to real sports talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Hi, I'm Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roofing. Do you have any idea why I never speak the way I am right now? It's because if you're honest, sincere, and knowledgeable, you do not need fast-talking, high-energy, gimmick-promising advertising to get a customer's attention. Speaking of that, how do you think companies can offer huge rebates and giveaways when you use their services or buy their products? By overcharging you in the first place, that's how. Five-Ash Roofing doesn't operate that way. It's misleading and dishonest. When I provide a customer with the best products and the best service possible and do it at a fair price, why would I need gimmicks to sell it? Best products, best warranties, and best service possible. That's all we offer. Well, that and financing. Five-Ash Roofing, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Memphis Tigers home team. Five-Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Commitment, dedication, perseverance. At FedEx, our people are our strength. Even during these unprecedented times, we are delivering medical supplies, test kits, and the things you need every day. Helping the world move forward together. Strength, what we deliver by delivering. FedEx.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays delivered by FedEx. Visit FedEx.com/e-commerce to see how to turn browsers into buyers. Learn how FedEx can help take your business to the next level. This hour is also brought to you by the Window Genie. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. 11:04 the time. Barrett Salee joins us to kick off hour number 2. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Gabe Kuhn. Sports 56 Middays on this Monday, September 14th, 2020. We're in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road. That's just north of I-40. As I mentioned, Sports 56 Middays, our title and presenting sponsor. COVID-19 has changed the world and our way of life, but rest assured that FedEx is still here, open and ready to deliver for you. Learn more at FedEx.com/coronavirus. We can't thank FedEx enough for what they're doing on the front lines of this battle against this pandemic, delivering the test kits and medical supplies where they are needed and delivering whatever is needed. We appreciate them being a part of our show each and every day. And the second hour of the program is also brought to you by the Window Genie, a trusted name in window cleaning, but they do so much more. And now they're taking reservations for holiday lighting. Give Kate Robertson a call at 901-424-4100. Let the power of the Genie work for you online at windowgenie.com. Before we bring Barrett on, we were talking earlier about the Arkansas State win. Jonathan Adams is the Sun Belt Offensive Player of the Week after his 3-touchdown performance against Kansas State. And we were talking during the break about Coastal Carolina. Eli, you had mentioned about how they really dominated that game. This is Coastal Carolina head coach Jamie Chadwell in his weekly presser, beating Kansas 2 years in a row. Last year, you could say it was a fluke a little bit. But this year, we pretty much dominated the game. Yeah, I mean, they had the one defensive end and their middle linebacker who were just unbelievable defensively. They were very impressive. Also, by the way, Memphis linebacker Tim Hart has now opted out for the season as well. So 2 players since this situation has occurred that have opted out for the season. Wow, and 3 players overall since the start of the season when you go back to Kenneth Gainwell. He's a college football writer for CBS Sports. You can see him on TV on CBS Sports HQ and hear him on Sirius XM College Radio. He comes on with us every Monday, and we certainly appreciate that. He's Barrett Sallee. You can follow him on Twitter at Barrett Sallee. He joins us now on Sports 56 Middays. Hey, Barrett.
What's going on, guys? How are you?
We're okay. I mean, Memphis, right in the middle of the you-know-what storm with everything that went down over the weekend. No game this Friday against Houston, which hurts. I know these fans that weren't able to go to the game much, but were certainly following their team are upset that the players themselves, especially those that were not involved. And we don't know for sure exactly what went down and how it all happened, but it's a situation, I guess, that we shouldn't be surprised about.
No, we shouldn't be surprised about it. I think we should be disappointed because most college football players are treating this like a job. They're treating this responsibly. They're going about this in a way that allows them to play football. And we had Jamie Chadwell on yesterday on Sirius XM, and, we asked him what the most challenging part is, and he said that they haven't really gotten there yet, that if you have a team that starts 1-2 or 2-4, then you're going to see a whole lot more of what happened at Memphis allegedly with the party bus because, kids, especially, people who aren't playing all that much or maybe frustrated with the staff will just mentally check out. And so, yeah, we're going to see more of this. I don't think we're going to see a lot of it with the good teams because pretty much any good team has strong senior leadership, and I think those seniors on good teams know how to sort of get everybody in line. And, teams that maybe, struggle in that department are going to have a hard time reining in players, especially young players who, at times in certain circumstances are really away from home for the first time in their lives. So, you're going to see more of it. Hopefully not too much more, but yeah, unfortunately it is going to happen.
All right, Barrett, you need to clarify good teams now. Memphis is sitting here ranked 16th in the AP poll, and we got a lot of listeners here that are listening to you every week. So clarify your good team statement.
No, Memphis is a good team for sure. I think that situation was more based on maybe the novelty of this whole situation. Memphis knows it's a good team. Those players understand that it is, that they have a lot on their plate. But I think perhaps because we're still sort of new at all of this, that maybe those players didn't really understand the ramifications. It was maybe the tone setter, the example, so to speak. And I'm sure other players, other schools looked at that situation and said, all right, this is what Memphis did. I know we've been preaching this to you, but we're going to have to do a better job because look what can happen. So that's not a slight against that staff. I just think that maybe there needed to be one or two teams that something like this happened to sort of maybe drive home the message that it's not just the coaches trying to control the players, that this is something that can legitimately wreck a season. And as much as, maybe some folks in our line of work want to think that these players can't think for themselves, most of, if not all of them, do want to play football.
Right.
That's why they're there. So, the message now probably got across to them, the players around the country, more through what happened at Memphis than maybe what its coaches are preaching in meetings and all that.
Yeah, because I asked a few different, leading up to this, we had Ross Bjork on. I'd asked him kind of what they're doing there. I've asked Keith Carter at Ole Miss and folks at Memphis, without the ability to punish them for going out and doing things socially, how do you try and get that message across? That you have, if you guys want to play, you need to understand maybe some of those sacrifices, because again, I mean, in the end, you're dealing with college kids, and so I do this might be the situation that helps all of those coaches and ADs and everybody get that point across to their players. See, you can't just assume hey, we can do this one time and get away with it.
Yeah, and that I think is, again, you have every coach in America is telling them that, telling their players that. I mean, every single one. And there are a lot of players that probably think it's lip service based on, personal beliefs of what COVID is or isn't, or, anything, any information can shape an opinion of a college student. So I think when you see your peers, especially knowing that a lot of the kids at Memphis went to camps with kids at other schools or went to high school with kids at other schools, they talk. And that sort of game of telephone, so to speak, it does have an impact. And so I'm with you. I think that it's you have to sort of hit this from every angle, and coaches have said their piece. Players have said their piece, and now the players themselves, whether on that roster or around the country, are going to know what happened at Memphis and say, all right, yeah, we can't sit there and take any chances whatsoever because we are all in this together, and it sucks that you have to sit in a situation where you can't go live your life, but that's reality for college football and for sports in general right now. And if you want to continue to do something that you love, you're going to have to make more sacrifices than normal.
Barrett Sallee joining us, college football writer for CBS Sports TV on CBS Sports HQ. You can listen to him on Sirius XM College Radio. Catch him every Monday here on Middays. So it's almost like a Lord of the Flies theme this year in college football. They're just eliminating. If one team goes down because of whatever the reason is, normally the COVID-19 situation with Memphis, it's like next man up. Houston about to play Memphis on Friday in their first game. Oh, no Memphis? All right, who can we get? Baylor? Baylor's on the phone. Yeah, they can do it. All right, let's schedule that game. It is the weirdest thing. It's the Wild Wild West, Lord of the Flies kind of theme this year in college football.
Yeah, I don't want to hear any athletic director ever saying that it's really hard to schedule games and we have to schedule them 15 years in advance. I mean, Houston and Baylor literally figured it out in 24 hours?
Yep.
And we've seen it in the past. Marshall and Virginia Tech did something. I think East Carolina swapped a game with somebody last year. Yeah, I don't want to hear that it's incredibly difficult to sign a contract and you have to do it 15 years in advance ever again, because that is just not true. And it's going to be odd. It's strange, obviously, especially if you devoted a little bit of time in fall camp preparing for an opponent that you can't play anymore. But good for Houston and good for Baylor. Their situations, they suck. You're sitting there thinking, well, who do we play? And you kind of look over and say, okay, if you're Baylor, you generally don't want to play Houston because you are recruiting in some battles with them, and you don't want to give them any chance to have the upper hand. But it's a weird year. Say, all right, let's do it. Let's tee it up. We got to have some games. We both have aspirations to do X, Y, and Z. So let's tee it up, and yeah, you're going to see more of that. And I'm really interested to see how certain schools make sacrifices to get games in, because there are some schools that in the Power Five that really don't want to play top tier Group of Five teams because of what the long term ramifications could be.
Well, you look on the field, and the Big 12 had the 0-3 versus Sun Belt weekend, and I know people go crazy about that. But I mean, in the end, how much does that really affect the Big 12 this season when the two teams that anybody would care about and thought would ever have a chance at the playoff, Oklahoma and Texas, weren't part of those losses? So how much does it really matter?
It doesn't, and it's just embarrassing. That's really all that it is, because you're right. Oklahoma and Texas, if either one wins the Big 12 championship, they're likely going to be in. And, if one of those teams is undefeated going to the Big 12 championship game and loses, that team's still probably in too, just based on resume. So, yeah, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. It sure as hell would in the regular season. There's no doubt it would have. But I view that less as an indictment of the future of the Big 12 this year and more a window into how good Sun Belt football is, because it's almost like people just refuse to watch it. And I get it. Inventory for television on normal Saturdays is huge, but for the Sun Belt to have that stage and come through, really to me, makes the message and the fact that I think a lot of us have known for a long time that, there's some really good teams in that conference. And the biggest reason for it is a lot of these guys either have dropped down from SEC schools or they chose, rather than be one of the back-end guys on an SEC recruiting class, be one of the top-end guys on a Sun Belt recruiting class, play for 3-4 years, and still have the same opportunity to go to the NFL as players on the big teams. And they're right in the right footprint. The Sun Belt is right where it needs to be. So I think the American is still, the top group of 5 conference, and I don't necessarily think that's going to change. And if it does, it'll take a little while. But there's no doubt the Sun Belt, could be and I think is the second best group of 5. And the gap between the AAC and the Sun Belt really isn't as big as maybe folks around the country who don't pay attention to those schools really recognize.
Like the Big 12, a number of ACC teams were in action over the weekend, and maybe I'm a bit naive. I expected a little bit more even in the first game from Mike Norvell, but Florida State losing to Georgia Tech 16-13. I don't care if it's game one. And you know this firsthand. Those Seminoles fans are already, I'm sure, on the message boards killing Mike Norvell. But what did you think of that one?
Florida State. Willie Taggart said it when he got there, and Mike Norvell said it when he got there. And it's something that both really needed to do, is that they needed to change the culture. And the culture is so broken, I think, really from Jimbo's last year, that it's not something that can be fixed overnight, because it's just, permeating, year after year, because you have guys who just are looking in different directions. You don't have one team, one heartbeat like LSU has. You have 85 players going in 85 different directions, looking out for the individual more than the team. And that was apparent on Saturday. And I think a team like Georgia Tech, which clearly now, these guys who have bought into Jeff Collins realize they're buying into a completely different system. So if they're in, they feel like this is the right situation for them personally. And because of that, you've got the whole team environment. And Georgia Tech, man, they look good. That quarterback, he was awesome. Jeff Sims is a 4-star kid. And for a guy who did not get spring and had obviously a strange summer camp, for him to play like that, I don't care how disjointed Florida State really is. Its defense is loaded.
Right.
If players are out for the individual, if they're focusing on themselves and not the team, they're still really good. And for him to play like that, just was incredibly impressive. And here's the thing. On his 2 interceptions, he shouldn't have thrown those picks, but he led them down the field on those too. Georgia Tech, it was awesome. And I'm really happy for Jeff Collins, because I do think that any glimmer of hope, no matter what it is this year, is going to go a long way toward appeasing that fan base, but more importantly, doing something that really is his long-term goal, and that's putting as much of a lock on the city of Atlanta and Metro Atlanta as they possibly can. So it was huge for Georgia Tech.
With the in the preseason, there's been quite a bit of hype about North Carolina. They got off to a slow start, and then in the second half, they absolutely dominated and pulled away from Syracuse. What did you think of North Carolina's performance?
I thought defensively, that is something they're going to have to be, because you're going to see a lot more inconsistency offensively. What you saw in the first 2.5, 3 quarters is something that is going to happen more often. The personnel just isn't there outside of Jazz Ferguson and obviously Sam Howell. It's just the depth isn't there. The familiarity with each other still is, I think, a work in progress. So the fact that the defense came to play like that, I think is the biggest takeaway, because that's going to have to happen more. And that's not a knock against Sam Howell. I just don't think that he has the personnel around him to consistently put 35, 40 points on the board. So I thought it was nice to see. I think it was something about that team that had to happen, because certain teams like Clemson can kind of work their way around the building process. North Carolina can't. And so for them to have that kind of performance, I thought was, while it wasn't pretty, it was, I think, necessary if they do want to reach the ACC championship game and at least have a puncher's chance at beating Clemson.
You can read Barrett Sallee stories at CBS Sports, cbssports.com. You can catch him on television on CBS Sports HQ and listen to him on Sirius XM College Radio. He is Barrett Sallee. He joins us every Monday during the college football season. Make sure to follow him on Twitter at Barrett Sallee. Have a great week, Barrett. We'll talk to you next Monday.
Thanks, y'all. You too.
Take care.
We got a text, by the way, on the Memphis situation on the First Bank text line. It says the situation with the football team was an embarrassment for the city, coaches, and players. That shouldn't have happened. During this time, you have to handle the entire situation more hands-on, like the other universities are. That sentence doesn't make any sense. Anyway, they knew better. Memphis has got to be better in this situation.
Overall, what they're saying, I agree. But do we know all the details? If the details that are out there, which right now is speculation, right? Nobody has confirmed anything. Then absolutely. Absolutely. But it goes back to what you've always said. They're kids. They're out there. They just want a football game. They're going to go out there. It's impossible for them to stay distant from each other. And things like this are happening all over the country. All over the country. The Memphis game is not the only game that has been postponed. But I think the general thought of that text is I agree with.
Yeah, I get what they're saying. But the thing is this. Okay, yeah, if you're one of these football players, you've just played a football game out there banging around with other people and everything else. Like, in your thought process, is it going to be, well, we can't go out. We're not supposed to be together. Like, you literally just spent 4 hours banging against people constantly. So do you think you're going to go, oh, we shouldn't go out to wherever and celebrate because we need to separate from each other? Right. You're going to think, like, if we have it or we're going to get it, we would have got it during the game anyway. So we don't have a game next week. You're thinking, we're off next week anyway. So what? Like, these are college kids. Like, just... We all thought this way in college, like, because again, they're not scared of the virus, like, so they're not thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm afraid to get it because I'm going to get extremely ill. I mean, it's just like this is the way college kids think. They're not going to lock themselves up in their room just because they think that that's what they have to do, especially when they think, we don't play a game for 13 days anyway. So we'll have a chance to probably get over this even if we do get it.
But now reality should settle in.
Maybe hopefully it does. But it's until you get in that situation. I mean, again, they're college kids. Just remember how you thought when you were in college.
Ole Miss has announced that they will move the celebration of retiring Eli Manning's number 10 to 2021. So the ceremony that was going to happen this year, the jersey number retirement of the great Eli Manning at Ole Miss, will be moved to 2021. Just another event that has been pushed back. This Memphis Sports Fact is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Did you know the last Tigers football game to be postponed was back on September 8th, 2007. After a 2-hour and 50-minute inclement weather delay at Arkansas State, the game was postponed. It was made up on Thursday, September 27th. James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar Avenue between Mendenhall and St. Elmo, on the line, online at gaddisjewelers.com. You can call them at 901-767-9648. Ask for James. Tell them you heard it here on Sports 56 Middays. They are your bridal, engagement, and anniversary jeweler headquarters. Been serving Memphians and Mid-Southerners for over 23 years. Guys, it's not the easiest thing to pick out that right ring. It's the biggest decision of your life. But James, Linda, and the rest of the pros at James Gaddis will answer all your questions and steer you in the right direction. James is a master jeweler, certified appraiser, diamondologist, and graded by the Gemologist Institute of America. They are full-service jewelers with 2 bench jewelers ready to serve you. So if you need a simple cleaning or a resetting or anything, you zip in and they will take care of you with those full-service jewelers. All their diamonds are independently graded and certified because they know there's a lot of competition out there. They have a price point to suit everyone's budget. It's James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Elmo, online at gaddisjewelers.com. Call them at 767-9648. When we come back, let's dive into the National Football League week number 1. This is Sports 56 Middays on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, that's AM 560, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
As you get back to business, small things can make a big difference. Like marking safe distances with floor tape and posting reminders to wash hands. As always, Grainger is here to help, offering supplies and solutions for every industry. Free access to product specialists, 24/7 support, safety recovery guides, and more. It's part of our commitment to help you adapt and recover in these challenging times. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Divorce can be complicated, even more so if there are children involved. If you're a father and want to protect your rights, consider Cordell & Cordell. As a partner men can count on, they have helped men with matters like these for 30 years. Visit CordellCordell.com to learn more.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Memphis attorneys. Online at CordellCordell.com. Office in Memphis, 6000 Poplar Avenue, Suite 225, Memphis, Tennessee, 38119.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. The storms we've had over the past several months have been devastating to our communities. The rainy season is ahead. You may have not even noticed the dripping in your attic, water stains throughout your home, or even worse, mold and mildew. Please call Brian Elder Roofing and we will send out our project managers to assess any damage. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. We will measure your roof from outer space. 0% for 60 months, even no payments till 2022 are available with approved credit. If you've noticed missing shingles, water stains, leaks in your roof, call us before you call your insurance company at 867-0303. That's 867-0303, and we will provide a free, thorough inspection of your roof's condition.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Summertime and the living is easy. No more cutting or paying utilities. Literally, you guys, Town Village Audubon Park, nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. Looking for a great place to retire, but you still have a very active lifestyle? Then visit Town Village. Only requirements that you're 55 plus. Prices per month starting at $24.50. The Gourmet Chef welcomes you to visit our restaurant and bistro. Package includes 3 complimentary meals per day, maid service, free local transportation, monthly coffee club, theme dinner parties, lots of fun. Visit us and call Daniel or Bo at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home. Town Village Audubon Park.
Commitment, dedication, perseverance. At FedEx, our people are our strength. Even during these unprecedented times, we are delivering medical supplies, test kits, and the things you need every day. Helping the world move forward together. Strength, what we deliver by delivering. FedEx.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays delivered by FedEx. Visit FedEx.com/e-commerce to see how to turn browsers into buyers. Learn how FedEx can help take your business to the next level. This hour is also brought to you by the Window Genie. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. 11:30 the time. Halfway through a Monday edition of Middays. We're going to talk some NFL here in just a moment. A couple of things real quick. Adrian Wojnarowski reporting that the Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo, met with Bucks co-owner and governor Mark Lassery and made it clear that the franchise plans to spend into the luxury tax to try and deliver him a championship supporting cast. They had a 3-hour lunch meeting. So Giannis trying to be swayed to stay. He'll become a free agent. That the Bucks, small market Milwaukee, wants to spend into the luxury tax to try to bring a championship to Milwaukee. What do you think about that?
I mean, look, they have to do whatever it takes to keep him.
When it comes, in your opinion, when it comes to a big-name free agent, do you think the free agent would want to play with Giannis in Milwaukee? Now, they'd certainly want to play with Giannis, but in Milwaukee?
No.
That's the problem. And they have a pretty good supporting cast right now, but obviously not good enough.
I mean,
I'm sure they're lining up to play for Giannis, but do they want to go to Milwaukee and sign a 3-year deal? I mean, if there's no other options, yes, but I'm talking about the big names that are available.
I mean, I
don't know who's available.
I don't know what Giannis's relationship is with other. I mean, in the end, these things if you're going to do that, it's not just, hey, I just want to go play with him. It's because you kind of work this out. I mean, and decide, hey, us three are going to get together and go do it.
Right.
But if you're doing that, you're not going to say, yeah, we'll all get together in Milwaukee. There's a reason it
sounds
wasn't
like a movie title.
There's a reason Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh didn't join LeBron in Cleveland. You do these, you tend to do these in the better cities. You're not, you know what? Yeah, Milwaukee sounds like a great place for us all to gather together and try and win a championship.
Yeah, fair point.
But if you're Milwaukee, I mean, literally whatever Giannis basically asks you to do, if you think that's going to help you keep him, you got to make that commitment.
Right.
You have to try and figure out a way to keep him there, and I don't know if they're going to be able to do that. And even if they are able to do that, I don't know if that's going to be enough for them to win a championship.
Now, I know this is not ethical by any stretch of the imagination, but he's also the governor of the state, so maybe Giannis can have some laws enacted.
If that's what it takes, I'm sure the people would elect him governor if they could do that in a heartbeat.
No taxes for athletes making over $10 million a year in the state of Wisconsin. ESPN has a new pair of sports gambling marketing deals with Caesars Entertainment and DraftKings. For the first time in the U.S., the companies will be able to place ads on ESPN's website or app that link directly into their sports books. Do you think that was something that was going to happen, or do you think because of the year we're having financially that that ESPN is looking at other streams of revenue?
No, I mean, why wouldn't this have happened? I mean, this is gambling advertising. It's
the
a reality.
But that's what I'm saying. It's the first time it's happened. They could have done this for years and years, but they didn't do it. Now they're doing it.
They couldn't have done it necessarily for years and years. There's just a lot more states that these books, they're in now that it's becoming legal in.
Yeah, but they could have done it. It wasn't illegal to do it, right? They decided not to do it, but now they're doing it. So again, is this just the normal flow of where it was going, or is it because, my gosh, we've lost programming here and ratings here. Let's go ahead and bring in gambling. Either way, it's going to happen. All right. Let's get into speaking of gambling, the National Football League. It was a rough Sunday for you and I and our teams. Last night, of course, it was the culmination of the Sunday games with the Cowboys falling to the Rams at the opening of that new, beautiful, SoFi Stadium. My gosh, that thing is unreal. And
$5 billion will get you some nice things.
$5 billion should get you some good things. And then earlier in the day, my Colts just stunk up the bed as they lost to Gardner Minshew.
I assume you will be apologizing to Brandon Lang.
I will be. It's the first thing I thought of was, my gosh, how wrong I was. That's why he's a professional handicapper, and I'm not. And
I was almost right when I said that Phillip Rivers would throw a walk-off interception. It wasn't a walk-off interception, but it was a big interception late in the game.
Well, yeah. Since you're there, let's start. Well, let's start with the Colts game. So they come out and he looks really good, and they take a 7-0 lead. And Jacksonville's defense, they have Miles Jack, and everybody else is left. That's pretty much it. But there's other guys who I don't really know that much about who have stepped up. So they were walking right down the field on them at 7-0, about to go up 14-0, and then things changed. And the Colts defensively, I thought, was very disappointing. Gardner Minshew didn't throw a lot, but of the 20 passes he threw, he completed 19 of them, and 3 went for touchdowns. And the closer that game was, or the later in the game that it was, And as close as it still was, I thought they're going to blow this game. They're going to lose it. And then when they started to get pressure on Rivers, obviously Rivers is a statue. He can't move. But to his credit, he threw some balls that were right between the numbers, and there were drops galore. Couple of them by T.Y. Hilton, who's the one you expect to make the catches. In any case, they should not have been in that situation. It was a horrible, horrible loss. At first, Eli, I thought, oh, my gosh, Jacksonville's already tanking for Trevor or for –
Well, no, they are. They've already done that by getting rid of everybody.
Well, yeah, but
they just happen to beat the Colts. Again, when the players are on the field, they're not taking. The team did that by getting rid of all the players.
Yes, but the team went out there and they said, "The hell with it. We're going to go ahead and we're going to win this game." And whether or not the Jacksonville Jaguars end up with the first pick and go for Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields, I don't know what the deal is, but they came out and they in the second half and they dominated. And that was a horrible, horrible loss for Frank Reich and the Colts. By the way, Frank Reich took a knee during the anthem, but the players stood in unity, which was interesting. And the Colts made a statement saying that this was not anything negative toward the military, toward the veterans and all that stuff. They had to they were ready to send that thing out, and they did immediately. But Frank Reich decided to take the knee. In any case, it was a horrible loss for the Colts.
Phillip, your boy Phillip Rivers. You get to have him all year. Good luck with it.
We'll see.
Get ready for a lot more of those interceptions.
If he's hitting now, he's such a big guy that he usually can take a licking and keep on ticking, but he's not young anymore. And you saw Jacoby Brissett on the sideline ready. If he was going to have his number called for whatever reason down the road, and with Rivers, you never know because, again, he's a statue. If there is a team that gets rush on him frequently, I mean, it's going to take its toll because he can't move. He can't move. So anyway, that was a horrible, horrible loss, but that was a personal loss because it was my Colts team.
They also lost Marlon Mack.
Yeah, I'm just going to bring that up. To add injury to insult, Marlon Mack lost for the year, so a lot more from the rookie, Jonathan Taylor, who looked okay from Wisconsin. But my gosh, now don't they still have the St. Benedict kid on the team?
Jordan Wilkins, yeah, he was. This actually might create some opportunity for him because he's kind of buried on the depth chart. But now with Mack out, he'll move up and may get into the mix.
Yeah. So, I was watching the Colts blow a game there that they should have easily won. I saw a complete collapse from the Philadelphia Eagles against the Washington football team. The Eagles jump out to a 17-0 lead. You would have bet your house on that one right there, that the Eagles are not going to blow that lead. And you got to give credit to Washington. To Ron Rivera, who had to get he had to take an IV at halftime. Remember, this guy's fighting a cancer. You have Dwayne Haskins, who did nothing in the first half. All of a sudden, they come back and they win that game. And I'm telling you, Carson Wentz may have all the tools in the world. There's just something about him that bothers me. That's why I said they should have went with Foles from the beginning and got rid of Wentz, but they weren't going to do that. That's a horrible loss for Philadelphia. That makes the Colts loss not look as bad.
Yeah, I mean, you can't blow the lead. I mean, coming into the season, the two worst teams in the NFL, most people thought were going to be the Redskins and the Jaguars. And, I mean, the Eagles, a lot of people believe, are one of the best teams in the NFC and the favorites to win that division. And so you spot yourself that big of a lead against one of the worst teams in the league and end up losing it. That is a horrendous loss by the Eagles.
By the way, before we dive into more of these games, every player in the NFL and the team personnel tested negative for COVID-19. So they're obviously doing something right.
Yeah, I mean because they have the ability to they can punish guys for making bad decisions, unlike the colleges. So these players and these players have millions of dollars on the line. So there's a lot more motivation to make sure that we do everything we can to have this season go on without a hitch.
The only game Sunday with fans, Colts at the Jaguars. Thursday there was fans in Kansas City with the Chiefs hosting the Texans, but all the other games had no fans. What did you think from a viewing standpoint, watching it on television, as opposed to normal years with big crowds?
Didn't even notice it. Literally, the edit, like those games, watching that, not even didn't even really register with me that there was a difference.
Yeah, it didn't really make a difference to me either. The sound that they were able to put in, I thought was great. It was just enough. It didn't sound like really fabricated, even though we know it was.
And part of that might be just because now I've gotten used to it in all the sports, but it just, because even now baseball, like at the beginning, baseball seemed weird when I saw, foul ball go in the stands or whatever. There's just nobody there. You see the shot and behind the plate, there's nobody there. But I've just kind of gotten used to baseball. That way, obviously, the bubble with the NBA is just a completely different setup, so you don't necessarily think about it because you don't see empty seats. But with the football, like with the crowd noise pumped in, like I just did not. It never really had any. I never even really thought at all about it.
All right, so the Colts lose, the Eagles lose to the Redskins, and then I was telling you before the show that I'm with my son. We're in a Survivor thing. This is the first time I've ever done this. I'm like, okay, let me get into it. I'm done. First week, I'm done. I took the 49ers as they lose to the Arizona Cardinals 24-20, and they had opportunities galore to win that game, but I thought Garoppolo looked horrible in that game, and especially in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, he struggled. They struggled. Good sign, the Cardinals and DeAndre Hopkins, that little move paid some dividends as he had a big game, and Kyler Murray ran quite a bit, showed what he can do and how dangerous he can be with the 91 rushing yards in that game as well. But yeah, I mean, that's a game the 49ers absolutely should win, and Garoppolo just wasn't very good. We know that in years past, the team that loses the Super Bowl historically struggles the next year for whatever reason. Whether that will be the case with this 49ers team, I don't know, but certainly not a good start.
Yeah, Super Bowl hangover, and let's give credit to Kyler Murray because we both thought he would struggle, and he's getting better and better. And the addition of DeAndre Hopkins, what do you have, 14 catches?
14 for 151.
That is really going to be a devastation to Houston. We talked about this on Friday after their loss Thursday night, albeit they played the Chiefs. But Deshaun Watson gets that big contract, and they take away his big weapon. That is going to be, I think, what really hurts the team overall is I think Watson's going to still put up some decent numbers, but those numbers aren't going to be anything close to what he could have put up if he still had DeAndre Hopkins. Hopkins already paying dividends in Arizona.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's one of the 2, 3, whatever you want to say, but he's in the elite of the elite receiving core in the NFL. And some people will tell you that he is the best receiver in the entire league. I mean, if you lose that as a quarterback or if you gain that as Kyler Murray did, that's got to make a big difference. When Larry Fitzgerald now can become just a kind of secondary option and it kind of bumps everybody down because the attention that DeAndre Hopkins has to attract is going to make everybody else better. And it's just like with the Texans, Will Fuller was, when he was healthy, can be really good next to DeAndre Hopkins. Can Will Fuller be really good as the guy that they can now pay attention to?
All right, when we come back, the controversial ending in Los Angeles between the Rams and the Cowboys, Brady and Breeze, and Cam Newton's debut with the Patriots. We'll talk about all those games as we continue a discussion on the NFL. If you have any comments or thoughts, you can text it on the First Bank text line at 67129. Hit us up on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255. Again, the second hour of the program is brought to you by the Window Genie, locally owned and operated by lifelong Memphis area resident Kate Robertson. They offer interior and exterior windows with their streak-free guarantee. They can clean gutters. They can do pressure washing and house washing. They can clean and seal concrete, brick, and natural stone. And also right now they are offering early specials on your holiday lighting. So Window Genie will customize your lighting, install it, maintain it, and store it away. They will do all that. You won't have to deal with that at all. You won't have to lift a finger. Install by November 1st. Get 15% off. So call Kate Robertson today. Ask her about the Sports 56 special, 901-424-4100 for the Window Genie. The Window Genie. Let the power of the Genie work for you. More NFL discussion when we return. This is Middays.
Check out Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy with Sports Time on Sports 56. Weekdays from 3 to 6 on Sports 56, 96.1 FM and 87.7 FM.
Summertime and the living is easy. No more cutting or paying utilities. Literally, you guys, Town Village Audubon Park, nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. Looking for a great place to retire, but you still have a very active lifestyle? Then visit Town Village. Only requirements that you're 55 plus. Prices per month starting at $24.50. The Gourmet Chef welcomes you to visit our restaurant and bistro. Package includes 3 complimentary meals per day, maid service, free local transportation, monthly coffee club, theme dinner parties, lots of fun. Visit us and call Daniel or Bo at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home. Town Village Audubon Park.
I'm here with outstanding team from Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway. They're online at lexusofmemphis.com. Gary, tell everyone how they can experience the Lexus of Memphis satisfaction.
Come in and be a part of our family at Lexus of Memphis. Experience the customer service that we provide to each guest like a member of our own family. If you're on the side of the road and you need us, we're there. If you need help with anything with your car, technology, Bluetooth, the app suite, we have a dedicated team to help you with this in your journey with your Lexus.
That's how they do it at Lexus of Memphis.
This is the Frells family. They live on a piece of land they call greener pasture, and they work on it behind the wheel of a John Deere 1 Series tractor. With its durable construction and features that hook up to dozens of attachments with ease, no job is too tough. The Frells family runs with us, because this is more than just land. It's home. Nothing runs like a Deere. Get a 1 Series tractor for just $99 per month at your John Deere dealer today. For additional cost information, please call toll-free 855-633-2315.
Looking for a high-efficiency planting solution? The Case IH 2150 Early Riser Planter combines the industry's most accurate planter technologies with a rugged row unit for a fast and uniform emergence. The Case IH 2150 Early Riser operates at your speed and adapts to unique field conditions so that you can maximize your yield potential. Stop in or call Mid-South Ag Equipment at 662-890-3141 to learn more. That's Mid-South Ag, your Case IH Equipment headquarters.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays delivered by FedEx. Visit FedEx.com/e-commerce to see how to turn browsers into buyers. Learn how FedEx can help take your business to the next level. This hour is also brought to you by the Window Genie. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
If you're going to wear a bright yellow suit into the building, you better come away with a W, and Cam Newton did that in his first game as the quarterback of the Patriots. The Patriots knocked off the Dolphins 21-11. He had a couple of touchdown runs. He honored Chadwick Boseman with the touchdown, the first touchdown. Not sure if he did after the second touchdown. I missed that one. But Cam Newton, a nice little debut for the Patriots.
Yeah, I'm sure that Bill Belichick took some great satisfaction knowing that he won his first game without Brady, and Brady did not win his first game without Belichick. Yeah, I mean, he looked pretty good. They looked pretty good. Not great, but good.
Yeah, look, they're not the Patriots of old. They're not the dynasty, but I think with Cam Newton at quarterback, they can do some good things. I don't think they're Super Bowl worthy, but I think they could be a postseason team. I thought it looked stranger watching Cam Newton in the Patriots uniform than it even did with Brady as a Buccaneer. I don't know, for some reason that the Brady with the dark uniforms, the road uniforms, I don't know. It was strange looking to me. But Brady and Tampa Bay, a lot of hype this offseason, but New Orleans is my pick to be in the Super Bowl and to lose eventually to the Chiefs. And I think we saw how good the Saints are, even though Drew Brees didn't have a great game. Brady did some good things, but he did some bad things. A couple of miscues, miscommunication with Mike Evans, more his fault, though, than Evans. And then the pick six, which was just a terrible pass. And we saw that so much with Jameis Winston. But I think Brady and the Bucs will be good. It's just they ran into a tough opponent for their first game trying to get it all together.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Saints are really good. Now, the pick six by Brady. That's 3 straight games now for Tom Brady that he's thrown a pick six. He has a chance to tie the NFL record this coming week if he throws another pick six. Not sure that's a record he wants. Pretty sure it's not. Matt Schaub holding that record, by the way. Yeah, I mean, and again, if you look around the NFL, the one thing I was just the new coaches, some of these new kind of quarterback situations weren't real successful in week one. And with the different, preseason games, lack of preparation, different thing, I don't think that's a real big surprise.
Yeah, one of those new players, Joe Burrow, although he put his team in position to tie the game late, they missed a field goal. They lost at home to the Chargers. And another new coach, but he happens to be a veteran coach who has been there and has done that successfully, is your boy Mike McCarthy at Dallas, and under fire today after not going for the tying field goal. And then there was the controversy on the offensive pass interference call. What did you think of the whole ending and the Cowboys' performance in the loss to the Rams?
Disappointing. I don't understand the decision to not kick a game-tying field goal in the fourth quarter. If it's third quarter, first half, whatever, 4th and 3, okay. He said his analytics told him you go for it there, and he wanted to kind of send a message of confidence for the offense. That's all fine and good, I think, earlier. But in the fourth quarter, when you've got a chip shot field goal to tie the game, that's hard to pass on. Now, I was more disappointed with the fact that on a 4th and 3, C.D. Lamb ran a 2-yard pattern. Because it's hard to run a 2-yard pattern. Let's be honest. That's hard to do. And when it's 4th and 3 and you're running that crossing pattern, you just have to make sure you get past the first down marker so that if you catch the ball, it's a first down. You shouldn't on a 4th and 3 have to catch the ball and then get extra yardage to be able to get the first down.
That's a rookie mistake. That's just a rookie mistake.
But in the end, if that's offensive pass interference, then the officials miss offensive pass interference 30 to 40 times every game. I mean, that play happens on most deep balls in the NFL. There's hand fighting that goes on. What's his name? The cornerback. I can't think of his name now. But anyway, he's holding Gallup's arm against his, and then he flops. Ramsey, yeah. He has it barred so it stays on his shoulder, and then he literally just flops. Gallup didn't do anything at that point, and Ramsey got away with flopping, and it's because it's Jalen Ramsey. I think absolutely that's the reason they make that call.
The referee has doubled down, saying it was the absolute correct call. But so are you saying a little bit of star treatment like we absolutely have in the NBA is also in the NFL?
I think they think, oh, gosh, for Jalen Ramsey to get beat, something must have happened. And so they see again, if you want to say that is an obvious offensive pass interference call, then you missed a bunch of offensive pass interference calls in that game. I guarantee it, because that receiver, he did not extend his arm and push Jalen Ramsey away.
I think he got duped. I think he got duped because he like you said, he flopped, and I think they got duped because he flopped.
I mean, when they show the real, he's literally the one holding Gallup's arm against him, and then at the end he just kind of throws his arms up and flops and gets the call for it. And for the official to say it was obvious, you could maybe say that by the letter of the law, that should be called offensive pass interference. But again, if you're going to call that, you're going to call 20 to 30 offensive pass interference in a game, because that just happens between receivers and defensive backs. They do a little hand fighting, especially on deep balls.
I think it was based on the angle the ref had. And all he saw was an extended arm and then a sort of flail by Jalen Ramsey. I think it was absolutely made because it was Jalen Ramsey. And it's interesting, too, because my experience with a actual offensive pass interference call, or defensive pass interference call, for that matter, is you're going to throw the flag while the catch is still being attempted, usually. While it's happening. It literally took till after Gallup caught the ball and took 2 steps for him to throw the flag, and that makes me think, okay, you fell for Jalen Ramsey's trick.
Yes. While the action is taking place, that's when the penalty flag should be thrown.
Yes.
Instead, they looked and saw what was going on. Then I think they bought into the dupe of going ahead and taking a dive, which we see all the time in soccer. But isn't it ironic that we had the replay for pass interference for 1 year, and then they got rid of it?
Yeah.
It was awful, though.
So they could have, but the thing is, apparently, according to if the replay official or if the official here, Corrente, says that it was an obvious pass interference call, it wouldn't have mattered. Apparently, it wouldn't have mattered if they would have been able to review it or not, because they were going to stick with that call because according to him, it was an obvious offensive pass interference, which I just don't. I can't. I don't agree with that at all being an obvious offensive pass interference. To me, Michael Gallup made a great play, and yeah, I mean, Jalen Ramsey flopped, got away with it, but that's part of pass interference to begin with, offensive or defensive. There's a lot of guesswork that has to happen on those calls. And the Cowboys should have never, again, the Cowboys should not have been in that situation. I was very disappointed with their lack of aggressiveness with offense. They didn't take shots downfield until that, basically.
Yeah.
There was, with all those receiver weapons, I thought there would be more deep shots than what there was. Now, granted, you do have to deal with Aaron Donald, who is
a monster.
It's unbelievable. Like the one play he made last night where he literally threw two offensive linemen to the ground at the same time is just he is a force. So you can't. I could see where they may have thought, like, we can't take deep shots because we don't want to get killed by Aaron Donald, so we have to get rid of it a little quicker. But yeah, overall it was a disappointing performance because Zeke was good. You have all these receivers, and you put up 17 points in the game.
Couple of other NFL notes. Lamar Jackson picking up where he left off. Well, not really where he left off. Obviously, he had the postseason thud, but he was the MVP last year in the NFL, and he looked like the MVP on Sunday as Baltimore destroyed Cleveland. And is it going to be another soap opera for the Browns with OBJ not part of the offense? Baker Mayfield was not good. They get beat by 32. Stefanski tries some tricks. It doesn't work. It just was a bad overall performance by Cleveland, but it is only the first game. And then one other game I wanted to bring up here real quick, and that's Chicago. Anthony Miller, the pride of Memphis and Christian Brothers High School, the former University of Memphis walk-on, with the game-winning touchdown pass from Mitchell Trubisky to beat Detroit. Two things. Trubisky, horrible in the first half, looked like Johnny Unitas in his prime in the second half. And then how about DeAndre Swift, the rookie from Georgia, had a chance to win it for Detroit and just butterfingers dropped it. It would have been a game-winning touchdown pass from Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, tough for DeAndre Swift. Great for somebody if they might have had money on the Bears and had given up on the bet, though.
Who could that be?
I don't know. I'm just saying, if you put money on the Bears yesterday and thought you were an idiot at halftime, it ended up being pretty good.
Coming up in hour number 3, we'll kick things off with 5 favorite songs today. The topic is up. The word up needs to be in the title of your song. Text in if you have not yet done so at 67129. That's the First Bank text line. If you are watching us live, you can message us with the lists at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and Instagram. Then at 12:30, kind of a hodgepodge of things. We'll get back into the NFL, and also want to get into Major League Baseball. We had a no-hitter thrown over the weekend, and the latest with Brent Rooker, which is not real good news. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roof Services. You've heard me talk about how we offer the best products, the best warranties, and the best services for years. Now let's talk about pricing. Pricing should never be the only reason you hire a contractor, but in today's world, pricing is always a consideration. So we suggest you get 2 or 3 estimates for your roof replacement from a reputable, licensed, and insured company, and then give us a call. If we can't beat your best price for a comparable roof system by more than $100, we'll give you $100. It's that simple. We are so sure we can offer you the best price, beating all other qualified companies. We will hand you $100 if we can't, and thank you for the opportunity. So give us a call. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Make $100? Five-Ash Roof Services, a proud supporter of Tiger Athletics and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five-Ash Roof Services, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing is what we do. We're here for you.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition, and yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses.
Jim Gray from Westwood One with a Monday Night Football preview. Week 1 doubleheader begins with Ian Eagle and Ross Tucker in New York as Daniel Jones and the Giants host the Pittsburgh Steelers, including the return of Ben Roethlisberger, who told me the elbow injury was a difficult experience.
It wasn't always just great news, and so there were definitely times that were scary. There was a quick second to think about, do I want to keep doing it? And that's all it was. It was a quick second, and I knew I wanted to keep playing. I knew I still loved this game and still had more to bring.
You'll hear more from my visit with Big Ben in the pregame show. And after that game, Kevin Harlan and Hall of Famer Kurt Warner will bring you the Tennessee Titans and the Broncos from Denver. Join us for a Week 1 primetime doubleheader on Monday Night Football.
Remember to listen to Westwood One's coverage of the NFL all season long. Right here on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Napa know-how.
Get all the quality parts you need at your locally owned Napa. Because right now, when you order from Napa online, you can pick up curbside at your local store in just 30 minutes. Or get your order delivered direct to your door with free one-day shipping on over 160,000 quality parts when you spend $35 or more. Quality parts delivered quickly and safely. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating stores, standard ground shipping and exclusions apply.
As you get back to business, small things can make a big difference. Like marking safe distances with floor tape and posting reminders to wash hands. As always, Grainger is here to help, offering supplies and solutions for every industry. Free access to product specialists, 24/7 support, safety recovery guides, and more. It's part of our commitment to help you adapt and recover in these challenging times. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you're going on vacation, making a college campus visit, or if business takes you out of town, there's just no better place to board your dog than Barks and Recreation, 965 Ruddock Cove between Bud Davis Cadillac and the Blue Plate Cafe in East Memphis. Boarding, daycare, grooming, we have the best of everything at Barks. Indoor-outdoor kennels so your family member can go in and out as they please. Indoor and outdoor play areas. 4 walks a day. Group play and individual attention from the best staff in the Mid-South, which includes an overnight staff to ensure the safety and comfort of your pet 24 hours a day. All reasons to choose Barks and Recreation above all other boarding and daycare facilities. BarksDaycare.com or 509-0909. Check us out and make your reservations now at BarksDaycare.com. If your dog could speak, he'd say Barks.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. The storms we've had over the past several months have been devastating to our communities. The rainy season is ahead. You may have not even noticed the dripping in your attic, water stains throughout your home, or even worse, mold and mildew. Please call Brian Elder Roofing and we will send out our project managers to assess any damage. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. We will measure your roof from outer space. 0% for 60 months, even no payments till 2022 are available with approved credit. If you've noticed missing shingles, water stains, leaks in your roof, call us before you call your insurance company at 867-0303. That's 867-0303, and we will provide a free, thorough inspection of your roof's condition.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG FM Tunica Memphis, and WPGFLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays delivered by FedEx. Visit FedEx.com/e-commerce to see how FedEx can help you start, grow, and efficiently manage your business. This hour is also brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at Quince and White Station. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back. 12:05 the time. We got our 5 favorite songs coming up in just a moment. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Gabe Kuhn, hour 3 of the program here on this Monday, September 14th, 2020. We're in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. The world's biggest spa sale going on right now at Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. All types of great deals, so check them out. Sports 56 Middays is delivered each and every day by our title and presenting sponsor, that's FedEx. Make the most out of your e-commerce experience by finding insights and inspiration from other small business owners. You can learn more at FedEx.com/e-commerce. And the third hour of the program is brought to you by our friends at East Memphis Ace Hardware, 5143 Quince Road, right next door to Billy Hardwick's All-Star Lanes. For convenience, service, knowledge, and price, it's East Memphis Ace Hardware, and online at acehardware.com where you can get free shipping. The phone number, 901-683-8688. Open Monday through Saturday, 8 to 7, Sunday, 10 to 4. A couple of things before we dive into our 5 favorite songs. We will have the double dip Monday Night Football tonight here on Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7. Steelers, Giants at 7, and then the Titans and the Broncos will follow. So Steelers, Giants, and Titans and Broncos.
Yeah, we'll join the first game in progress, and then we'll have that till its conclusion, and then when Westwood once that wraps up, they will join the second game in progress, and then we'll have that as well here tonight.
NFL executive Troy Vincent, according to Adam Schefter, sent a sharply worded memo to clubs today reminding coaches the importance of wearing face coverings on the sideline. Different coaches approach mask rules in different ways, and many noticed. If it continues, fines will ensue.
Yeah, it was funny watching Sean McVay last night for the Rams wear his mask around his chin and then while calling plays cover up his face with his play card. Like, here's a simple solution for all of this, Sean. Move the mask up over your face, then you don't have to cover your face for the play call, and you're actually wearing the mask, which you're supposed to be doing anyway, rather than wearing it around your chin.
Yeah, the reaction on Twitter was hilarious to what he was doing last night. I also wanted to mention from the Cowboys game, Dontari Poe, former Memphis Tiger, and that was interesting to watch because you had Dontari Poe, you had Tony Pollard, and you had Darrell Henderson. Henderson's been slowed by a hammy, I believe, but all 3 played in that game. And Poe, before the game, now I didn't watch the beginning of the game, so I didn't see everything that was actually on television, but I know that Dontari Poe followed through with what he said. He said he was going to take a knee. And Jerry Jones was, never had a player do that. So he's the first Cowboy to protest during the national anthem.
Yeah, that was, Jerry was very much against it before, but has said that he is now allowing that, I guess, whatever you want to say as far as allowing that. And not surprising. I did not watch the anthem. I'll be honest, I've already gotten worn out with the anthem talk for this year, and I don't really care to watch any of the anthems at this point.
Well, a lot of the teams stayed in the locker room. They have the 2 anthems now. Of course, our Star Spangled Banner, the anthem that has been played before games for years and years and years, and then they have the other anthem. Do you know the name of the other anthem, which is supposedly the
Black National Anthem is Lift Every Voice, I believe is
Every Voice.
Is the song.
I never knew that existed. There was a Black National Anthem. But anyway, they played that. And I don't know if it's the young girls singing. It's pre-recorded, I believe. And they do a beautiful job with that. But I thought overall, again, it wasn't that big of a deal over the weekend as far as that is concerned, or on Sunday in the National Football League. I don't think it affected my viewing habits or and most of them that were on the field were standing and embracing and unified. So I think nothing to see here. I thought it was going to be like every team and all the players were going to take knees. So it wasn't what I thought it would end up being. Also, I'd mentioned earlier that New England and Miami were playing in Miami. Obviously, the game was in Foxborough, and you saw the beautiful yellow suit that I have. I have the exact same suit that Cam Newton wore to the game.
So I was looking at and there's still, you've got tonight, Joe Judge tonight, but the teams with either a new head coach or a new quarterback, I believe the only two to win were the two guys who left Carolina, Ron Rivera and Cam Newton.
Interesting. Well, with those two guys, you have two veterans. Ron Rivera, a longtime NFL head coach with a lot of success, and Cam Newton, a longtime NFL starting quarterback with a lot of success.
Well, yeah, but I mean, Phillip Rivers and Tom Brady are also veterans who.
Yes, but I think you're right. But Tampa Bay was in a tough situation. That was one I got right. I didn't get many right, but that was one I got right. I thought they would struggle in the first game going up against a really good team, New Orleans. Now, I thought Phillip Rivers, who threw for a lot of yards, would throw 4 touchdown passes and they would cruise. And maybe that was my heart over my head, or maybe not. But Jacksonville, throwing in the towel with their front office. We talked about this earlier, going for the Trevor Lawrence or Justin Field, and all of a sudden they're beating the Colts to start the season. So.
I was just something else because I don't know that has anything to do with the fact of no preseason or preseason games and less time to get new systems in place, all of that stuff. I don't know, but that was something, and if I'm not mistaken, that Cam and Rivera are the only two that won their game in a new place, either as a starting quarterback or as a head coach. And again, you got Joe Judge going tonight, although I don't think anybody expects him to win his debut tonight.
Right. Ben Roethlisberger obviously back for Pittsburgh, so their expectations are pretty high. By the way, and I've been digressing here, we'll get to our 5 favorite songs in just a moment, but Justin Fields, if they don't play, and again, everything seems like they're going towards playing, with Trevor Lawrence playing, how do you think they're looked at by Jacksonville or whoever ends up getting the first pick in the draft? Is Lawrence the absolute lockdown number 1 pick? Or if he has a pedestrian season and Fields plays and has a great year, Fields surpasses him? Or Fields doesn't play and, again, Trevor Lawrence is just kind of okay, does Fields jump ahead of him?
I think right now most people, probably believe Trevor Lawrence is the guy, but I wouldn't be surprised if Justin Fields, depending on what we're able to do, even if he doesn't play, but once we get to a point, who knows what the combine / pre-draft process will be for next year. But I wouldn't be surprised if Fields could end up being the guy.
UCF head coach Josh Heupel says quarterback Mackenzie Milton will not play this weekend versus Georgia Tech and likely won't play in the initial weeks of the season. But he did say he continues to progress well in rehabbing his knee, which is going to be just a miraculous comeback story if he ends up playing.
There was also Ryan Silverfield did his very brief media session, very brief today, basically just made a statement. Said he was extremely disappointed in the postponement of the Houston game, maintains there was no party bus. 2 players were picked up by their family in a van outside student housing. Nobody in the hospital. And apparently had some things to say about media running some stories that aren't true, but that was basically about a 3-minute statement by Ryan Silverfield.
Also meeting media today, Ole Miss head coach Lane Kiffin. We're getting closer to the start of the SEC football season, a week from Saturday. He said in the most recent COVID testing, there were 0 positives. He said Ole Miss has a couple of players in quarantine, but we're almost all the way back. Time now for our 5 favorite songs.
5 favorite songs.
All right, today's topic is up. The word up needs to be in the title of your song. You can text in, First Bank text line 67129. If you are watching us live, You can message us with the lists at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and Instagram. Gabe, you want to kick it off for us today?
I'll do the honors.
Okay.
I'm excited about this.
We'll go Gabe, Eli, and then me.
This was loaded.
It was. Good.
I don't know if I'll have that many recurring songs with you guys. I think you guys might agree with each other. I don't know if you'll agree with me on many of my songs.
I'm very interested to see how many songs end up on multiple lists, because there was a lot to choose from. I'm not sure my list will have a lot of agreement here. I don't know. I'm interested to see how this one goes.
Well, I guess I'll lead it off. 5, Keep Your Head Up by Tupac. 4, Uptown Girl, Billy Joel. 3, this has been on my list before, not a very known song, but Double Up by Nipsey Hussle. 2, I had to put on Get Up, James Brown, but the in the parentheses, I Feel Like a Sex Machine.
Mm-hmm.
And then
sure you do.
Number 1, how could I forget?
We don't care what people say. Dudes who critique your clothes on most day. I ain't gotta wait for no one. If I wanna fly, I can fly for freedom. Hey, I'll be up and away, cause they gon' judge me anyway. So whatever, I'll be up and away, cause in the end they'll judge me anyway. So whatever.
Been a number 1 song 2 straight weeks for me now. Up and Away by Kid Cudi.
Kid Cudi, again, did not make my list.
Oh, gosh.
It's pretty good, though. Nice beat to that song. I like it.
It's upbeat. Get you feeling good.
Get your foot tapping. I ain't gonna lie, get your foot tapping.
Little Kid Cudi.
Kid Cudi. Why not?
Him and A$AP Rocky.
Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler twice. Jay Cutler twice in 2 weeks.
Your favorite artist. A$AP Rocky and Kid Cudi, right? Right, Eli?
Yes. A$AP Rocky is my guy.
All right, Eli.
Am I next?
Yes.
All right, I got to do 2 honorable mentions. First up, honorable mention to Straight Up from Paula Abdul. Just got to give Paula a mention.
What was the cat's name in the video?
I have no idea.
Does anybody know?
I don't know that I've ever saw the Straight Up. I don't know that I've ever saw the Straight Up video in my life.
Oh yes, you have. For those days, man, that you just rocked MTV on your television.
Weirdly enough, I never watched MTV when they actually had music videos on it. I started watching MTV when they started going to reality television.
Oh gosh,
and I still watch it today.
I got to look up now the name of the cat. Anyway,
my second honorable mention. I don't know why I didn't put this in my top 5, but I didn't know what song to eliminate, and I don't know if you say it Mars or Marrs, but Pump Up the Volume, one of the great one-hit wonders of all time. Great song.
Pump Up the Volume. You know what's funny? I consider Pump Up the Jam by Technotronic.
You got Pump Up the Jam, but Pump Up the Volume, way better.
Pump Up the Volume. I don't know how it goes. By the way, the cat.
You don't
in the
know?
video,
Oh, come on.
I know I've heard
Gabe,
it.
Pump Up the Volume.
I know I've.
All they do is say Pump Up the Volume, basically.
I'm sure I've heard that. By the way, MC Scat Cat, the name of the cat in the video with
of
Paula
course,
Abdul.
MC Scat Cat.
Yes.
He was also the cat in the hat, I believe, if I remember correctly. All right. Number 5, Caught Up in You, 38 Special. Number 4, Word Up, Cameo. It's been on my list before. I think it was the number 1 on my list. Number 3, Ain't Going Down Till the Sun Comes Up by Garth Brooks. Number 2, really was going to put this at number 1 because I felt bad. I disrespected this song on an earlier list. Back when we did girls' names, I completely disrespected this song. So I should have put it at number 1, but I put it at number 2, Wake Up Little Susie by the Everly Brothers. Mm-hmm. And then number 1.
When I get over this mountain, you know where I wanna go. Straight down the Mississippi River to the Gulf of Mexico. To Lake Charles, Louisiana, little Bessie girl I once knew. And she told me just to come on by if there's anything that she could do. Up on Cripple Creek, she sends me if I spring a leak. She mends me
gives me a drunkard's dream if I ever did see one.
The band, Up on Cripple Creek.
That's a really good song that I completely forgot about while putting my list together. It probably would have come up just short. It was a really good list, a really good topic, but that's a good song. That is a really good song that I completely forgot about.
Yeah, it was a tough battle between that and Wake Up Little Susie for number one spot. And I feel bad for Susie. So I disrespected her before. Couldn't quite earn the number one because Up on Cripple Creek. I'm a big fan of that song.
Hey, you couldn't disrespect Susie as much as Jerry Seinfeld did. Remember that episode?
No, that's for sure.
He killed Susie, then he murdered her. Did you find that song, by the way, Gabe? I don't think I remember this.
This had to be late 80s because I believe I was probably in junior high.
Who's the artist?
It's Mars. I don't know if they pronounce it. It's Marrs. There's actually a line because it's actually the names of the people.
Gotcha.
This was used in I want to say it might have been some Nike commercials back in the day, if I remember correctly. But
wasn't Spike Lee's character Mars Blackman?
Yes, I want to say they might have used this song in some of those ads with Mars when he was Mars Blackman. I can't remember. This song was everywhere back in the day.
All right. My list. Number 5, Uptown Funk by Bruno Mars. Number 4, Uptown Girl by Billy Joel. So there's one that Gabe had that I agree with. Number 3, Start Me Up by the Rolling Stones.
Oh, I'm kicking myself right now.
Great song. I wanted to put that on my list, but I couldn't fit it in there.
I hate to be the guy that said, that always interrupts and says, "Oh, how could I forget?" But seriously, how did I forget that song? That is wild.
That's a great stadium anthem right there.
Fantastic stadium anthem.
Number 2, Word Up by Cameo. Again, so many good up songs that I had to leave some of them out. You only get 5 in there. This one goes way back, and I've always loved this song. This is my number 1.
And if it's bad, don't let it get you down. You can take it. And if it hurts, don't let them see you cry. You can make it. Hold your head up, hold your head up, hold your head up, hold your head high.
It is Hold Your Head Up by Argent.
That's a really good song. I missed that one.
Always love that song.
That might have been that would have had a chance at cracking my top 5. I completely forgot about that one.
Yeah, that song's always.
It's a good song.
Yeah,
that's a real good song.
Are they a one-hit wonder? I don't think they've had anything else, have they? Argent? Our listeners, somebody would know that. They may be considered although I listen.
I mean, they named Argentina a country after them, so I have to believe they had more than one hit.
I watch videos on the one-hit wonders, or I read lists. I'm just trying to recall Hold Your Head Up on those lists. I don't remember. I bet you Argent's had more than that one song. Okay, now to our listeners.
All right, Zed, number 5, Wake Up by Coheed and Cambria. Number 4, Light 'Em Up by Fall Out Boy. Number 3, Caught Up in You, 38 Special. Number 2, Get Up, Stand Up, Bob Marley.
Good song.
And number 1, Upside Down by Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson, yes. Honorable mention, the Uptown Poker Club, Jerry Reed. Rooster comes with Chop Me Up, Justin Timberlake with 3-6 Mafia. Number 4, Word Up. Number 3, Pump Up the Jam. Number 2, Straight Up. Oh, yeah, look at Rooster giving Paul Abdul some credit. Number 1, Get Up. I Feel Like a Sex Machine, James Brown. Let's see here. Hold on 1 second. Got to do some adjusting to get my screen correct here. All right. Carolyn, Up All Night with Drake and Nicki Minaj. Uproar by Lil Wayne and Swizz Beatz. Number 3, Up, Up, and Away, Kid Cudi. Number 2, Upside Down, Diana Ross. And number 1, Uptown Girl, Billy Joel. With an honorable mention for Wake Up Everybody by Teddy Pendergrass.
Oh, that's a great song. I completely forgot about that. Man, that's a good song.
Downtown Leo. Number 5, I Won't Give Up, Jason Mraz. Number 4, Word Up, cameo. Number 3, Wake Me Up When September Ends, Green Day. Very good one that I considered. Number 2, Start Me Up. And number 1, another one that I really wanted to get on my list, Up Where We Belong, Joe Cocker and Jennifer Warnes.
Yeah. From what movie?
Officer and a Gentleman.
You are correct, sir.
Let's see here. Where does this one start? Why did it start at number 4? There's got to be. Oh, here we go. This is Bobby in Midtown. Honorable mention to Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys, Doobie Brothers version. Number 5, Mixed Up, Shook Up World by Boz Scaggs. Number 4, Farther Up the Road by Bobby Blue Bland. Number 3, Pick Up the Pieces by the Average White Band. Mm-hmm. Number 2, Move On Up by Curtis Mayfield. And number 1, Got to Give It Up by Marvin Gaye.
Another good song. Pick Up the Pieces almost made my list.
Number 5 from, this one does not have a name on it, I guess. Number 5, Don't Give Up, Peter Gabriel. Number 4, Up Against the Wall, Redneck Mother by Jerry Jeff Walker. Number 3, Up on Cripple Creek. Number 2, Don't Mess Up a Good Thing by Ry Cooder.
Okay, sir.
Just says R-Y. I'm not sure if they left out a letter there or if that's his name. Ry Cooder.
Could be R-Y Cooter.
Crazy Cooter. Number 1, Lit Up by Buck Cherry. Ray and Cordova, honorable mention to Give It Up, Casey and the Sunshine Band, and Moving On Up, the Jeffersons theme song by Janet Dubois.
Yeah, who is the lady that played on Good Times? She was Ramona. Do you remember the neighbor? Or was it the aunt or something like that? She wrote that song.
How about that?
Little fun fact for you.
Number 5, You Raise Me Up, Josh Groban. Number 4, Upside Down, Diana Ross. Number 3, The Breakup Song, the Greg Kinn Band.
Nice.
Number 2, Shake It Up, the Cars. And number 1, Up on the Roof, the Drifters.
Yeah, I like Up on the Roof or Up on a Roof by James Taylor. I like his version better. But Shake It Up, because I love the Cars, and it's a good one, but just it wasn't good enough, man.
Raider Corey. Number 5, Bottoms Up, Nicki Minaj, Trey Songz. Number 4, Get Up, Stand Up by Marley. Number 3, Word Up. Number 2, Wake Up Everybody. Featuring Teddy Pendergrass with Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes.
One of my favorite bands of all time, Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes.
Number 1, Uptown Funk. Number 5, Up on Cripple Creek. Number 4, Get Up, Stand Up. Number 3, Start Me Up. Number 2, I Can't Stand Up for Falling Down, Sam and Dave, or Elvis Costello and the Attractions. Mm-hmm. Number 1, Up on the Roof, the Drifters. Honorable mention to Going Up the Country by Canned Heat.
Yeah, Going Up the Country.
And Pick Up the Pieces by the Average White Band. Let's see. Lou in Kansas City. Up, Up and Away by Fifth Dimension. Mm-hmm. Number 4, Party Up by Prince. Number 3, Daylight Gonna Catch Me Up Again by Bobby Womack. Number 2, Uptown by Prince. And number 1, Get Up, Stand Up. Bobby says, Argent was a one-hit wonder, but the leader of the band, keyboardist Rod Argent, was an original member of the Zombies.
Oh, wow. How about that?
Phil, number 5, Up on the Roof, James Taylor. Number 4, Hold Your Head Up, Argent. Number 3, Breaking Up is Hard to Do, Neil Sedaka. Number 2, Lick It Up by Kiss. And number 1, Let's Get It Up, AC/DC. Phil, the first person that ever has what he's done like number 5, he literally spells out number 5 and then number 4. Spells out the word, even spells out the number too. Doesn't just put the number. Let's see here. Number 5, From the Ground Up, Dan and Shay. Number 4, Break Up with Him, Old Dominion. Number 3, Pumped Up Kicks, Foster the People.
Good song.
Number 2, Waking Up in Vegas, Katy Perry. And number 1, All Shook Up by Elvis. Thought we would get more Elvis in this one with that.
Man, it wouldn't have made my list, but I forgot about that one. And Pumped Up Kicks, man, I have that on my phone, man. How did I not even think about that one? That's a
Somebody
good song.
says Rye Cooter. It is Rye Cooter, R-Y. Rye
Okay.
Cooter was good. Somebody says Bottoms Up, Van Halen. Brad comes with Wake Me Up Before You Go by Wham. Like a good Wham.
Just one from Brad?
Yeah, I mean, when you're coming with Wham, do you need any more? John, Tangled Up in Blue by Bob Dylan. Let's Get It Up, AC/DC. Wake Up Dead by Megadeth. I Don't Want to Grow Up by Tom Waits. And Picking Up After You by Tom Waits. Let's see. Honorable mention to Lights Up by Harry Styles. Bobby, number 5, Upstairs Downtown, Toby Keith. Number 4, Straight Up, Paula Abdul. Number 3, Up Around the Bend, CCR. Always nice when you could go from Toby Keith to Paula Abdul to CCR. Number 2, Uptown Funk, Bruno Mars. And number 1, What's Up, 4 Non-Blondes. Honorable mention to It Came Upon a Midnight Clearing by Lawrence Welk. Let's see. I believe that is all of the lists here.
All right.
I think I got through all of them.
Well, since we went with up for today's topic, let's go with down for tomorrow's theme. So songs with down in the title for tomorrow.
See, that explains it all. I'm here to pick you up. Greg's here to sit you back down.
I'm bringing you down, baby. I'm bringing you down. So down for tomorrow, that will be 5 favorite songs. We'll take a timeout. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Search Sports 56 on Facebook and give us a like. And follow us on Twitter at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Central Barbecue is committed to the health and safety of this community, who has supported Central for almost 20 years. Central Barbecue is still open for business with to-go and delivery options to serve the greater Memphis area with the same great barbecue you have come to know and love. With 4 locations to serve you, from downtown, midtown, and East Memphis, you can order your favorite barbecue and enjoy everything on the menu in the comfort of your own home. Call your nearest Central Barbecue location for more information on delivery and to-go options today.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition, and yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses.
Hi, this is Rob Brown. Join Pete Cordelli and me for Sidelines Saturday mornings, 8 to 10 a.m. on Sports 56, 87.7, and 96.1 FM. We'll cover the Memphis Tigers, the SEC, recruiting. Hey, if they keep score, we're covering it. Check us out on the website at sports56whbq.com and sidelines.live. Sidelines is brought to you by Duncan Williams Asset Management. Saturday mornings, 8 to 10 a.m. Get up and give us a call.
Hey folks, I'm Jarrett Carter. My family recently purchased East Memphis Ace Hardware at Quince and White Station, and we're excited to offer the best selection of Big Green Egg and Traeger grills. And then don't forget about our Benjamin Moore Paint Studio and the Garden Center for flowers. Save 60% with our new Duracell key fob replacement program. We have a master locksmith service as well as glass cutting and screen repair. The East Memphis Ace Hardware, located at Quince and White Station behind Three Little Pigs.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays delivered by FedEx. Visit FedEx.com/e-commerce to see how FedEx can help you start, grow, and efficiently manage your business. This hour is also brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at Quince and White Station. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Wake up, everybody, no more sleeping in bed. No more backward thinking, time for thinking ahead. The world has changed so very much.
Listen to these words here.
What it used to be. There's so much hatred, war and poverty.
Song that's apropos for today.
Wake up all the teachers, time to teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen to what you have to say.
The Velvet Tones and Teddy Pendergrass, the lead singer for Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. Wake Up. I'm so mad I didn't have this song on my list. I completely forgot, but thank you to our listeners because a bunch of you had it on your list. Listen to this right here.
World won't get no better if we just let it be. Na, 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 na. The world won't get no better. We gotta change it now, just you and me.
Wow, that's so good. Welcome back to the show. Final half hour for us today here on this Monday edition of Middays.
The line that may have been the most accurate is "Wake up, teachers! Time to teach a new way."
Yeah, that's true.
That is as accurate as it gets for today's world.
Could you imagine that this song was from early 70s, I think, late 60s, early 70s. Imagine they had the crystal ball out, try to teach a new way. Use those computers, online teaching. They put all those words into the song. Yeah, it's a whole different ball game here, but the theme is still the same theme here in 2020.
Got a couple of texts I'll get to in just a second, but your boy B.J. Foster.
Yes, he's back.
He's back. He did not quit. Tom Herman said today, I guess, safety, B.J. Foster let his frustrations get the best of him on Saturday night. Said Foster was apologetic for leaving the game during the third quarter. Said Foster will serve his penance internally, and it will be water under the bridge.
Yeah, I wonder what the penance is internally. Will he be ready will he play the next game? The guy quit on the team. He was frustrated and he left. That's ridiculous. You got to at least keep him out of a game. Or I don't know if you're sending the right message. Just my opinion.
Well, apparently that was the reason he was upset to begin with, is he was not playing. So if he doesn't play, he might get mad and quit again.
So be it.
Tiger Steve texts in, says, "Hey, Eli, good luck with McCarthy. Awful decision not to kick the field goal. Go Pack. Oh, and awesome win for the Bartlett Panthers." Yes, Bartlett. Nice win over Christian Brothers on Friday night. Got more on that coming up in one final thing today, actually. Raider Corey says, "I wish they would do away with the anthem in sports. It just causes more division. Just don't do it anymore. Just my opinion."
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Why did we? I think we've discussed this. When did it ever start that we've played the anthem before sporting events?
We talked about this. I don't remember, but I know we talked about this. It's just tradition. Now, traditions end. There's no question it can end. But would the abolishment of the anthem altogether have an effect and more of an effect on military, people of that nature? I know they're trying to talk about the protests now. Those who take a knee or whatever the case may be is not against the military. The Colts came out with that statement when Frank Reich took the knee yesterday. They came out with a statement that is not against the military. It's not against our veterans. Okay, if you buy that, that's fine. And I think to a certain extent I understand. But if you just get rid of the anthem altogether, I think people are going to have a problem because it's part of tradition. It's American. It's military. It's red, white, and blue. It's stars and stripes. I don't know if people wouldn't have a harder time with it abolished, with it taken away than with
it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because it would actually upset people on every side of it.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, it would upset
there'd be more of an outroar.
People that say you should honor the anthem and not do any protesting during it. They're going to be mad because they like the anthem as a way of honoring the country, and the other ones are going to say, "See, as soon as we protest, you just take away whatever it is. Like you're trying to take away basically our freedom to protest here by saying, all right, then fine. If you're going to protest during the anthem, we'll take away the anthem,
right?
And so it's going to just make. So they're not going to do that. I do. I mean, I as I said, I've kind of worn out by the anthem talk, and obviously week 1 of the NFL is going to be more than any other, and I think it will kind of they will start even if the players continue to kneel or whatever, the conversation about it will kind of die down, and I do wonder because with the TV networks that carry the games. Because there is no doubt that there is a section of people out there that are very anti-NFL right now and don't want to watch because of all the political stuff.
They're offended by it. Go right to the commercial during the
So
anthem,
I wonder if they have told their announcers even, like, listen, we need to stay far away from this as we possibly can, or what they have kind of told them as far as that is, because NBC on that opening night, Collinsworth made the statement in the pregame, and then they pretty much stayed away from anything about it the rest of the game. I wonder if these what the networks are telling the announcers on this stuff.
Yeah, we'll have 2 more games tonight, but I didn't watch any of the openings. I was on Red Zone, and I didn't see what was happening at the stadiums. Now, I watched later ESPN and some of the other football, the Fox football show and the CBS football show, and they would go to those stadiums and they would show what happened. But I don't know as far as the actual play-by-play announcer what he's been or she's been instructed to do in sports now with the anthem, if that's when they're going to take breaks or not, if they're going to actually show it. All right, a couple of things from Major League Baseball. Albert Pujols yesterday blasted home run number 660, which ties the great Willie Mays for 5th all-time. Also, this news is horrible. Brent Rooker, the rookie from ECS in Mississippi State, who had a 6-game hitting streak and reached base in all 7 of his Major League Baseball games, was plunked right in the forearm. It fractured his right forearm, the pitch, and is lost for the remainder of the season. Boy, Rooker was off to a torrid start after the call-up by the Minnesota Twins. And then yesterday, Alec Mills, the former UT Martin walk-on, yes, the UT Martin walk-on, threw a no-hitter for your Chicago Cubs in a 12-0 win over the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah, the back-to-back days for the Cubs, Saturday and Sunday, may have been the most improbable back-to-back games in the history of the franchise. Saturday night, I still haven't even figured out how they did it. After going 17 straight innings without scoring a run, they then light up Josh Hader in the 9th inning, which is just, Hader had barely given up a run all year, given up like a few hits all year. And the Cubs hit 2 home runs against him, light him up for 4 runs. And then Alec Mills, out of nowhere, throws a no-hitter yesterday. And it was actually funny because I didn't watch the game at all yesterday. I was just checking the score, and the Cubs were up big, so I really wasn't even paying any attention. And I got a text that said, man, didn't see that coming. And I thought they were talking about the offense scoring 12 runs. I said, well, it's no shot. Chris Bryant wasn't in the lineup today. And they said, no, the no-hitter. And I was like, wait, Alec Mills threw a no-hitter today? Like I had no idea that he had even thrown a no-hitter. I just thought the Cubs had won a game 12-0, didn't pay any attention to it, had no clue that he threw a no-hitter.
Yeah, I was looking up their box score with the 12 runs and just kind of going through that. And I saw the note. It said Alec Mills threw 8, has a no-hitter. And I didn't know if it was even televised. I didn't watch it, but I saw the highlights later. And I was wondering how the players were going to react to the no-hitter during this COVID, where you're not supposed to be within 6 feet of each other, and whether or not they'd be kind of jumping into his arms and making a dog pile of after he threw the no-hitter. And they did that. They did what you would normally do when somebody does something that special. They jumped up in his arms, and they made a...
Same thing the White Sox did when Giolito threw his. So that you got the only 2 no-hitters, by the way, are now for Chicago, the 2 Chicago teams this year. But I tweeted the 24 hours for the city of Chicago. Saturday night, again, the Cubs pull off one of the most improbable wins ever because of Josh Hader being the best reliever in baseball, and they do that. Then Sunday, they throw a no-hitter. The Bears outscore the Lions 21-0 in the fourth quarter to come back and steal a game that they never should have won.
Yep.
And the White Sox, with their 2 wins Saturday and Sunday, moved into the number 1 spot in the American League. It's pretty good times for Chicago.
Well, that's the importance that sports is to everybody, because you start to be able to enjoy yourself away from the problems of everyday life, and especially in Chicago when they've had all those shootings and all those murders and things of that nature. It's just a time for people that care about sports to get away, and I think that provides an outlet for people. The National Football League, I think, first and foremost. But yeah, when we have all these negative stories and all these issues and all these problems, sports is something that brings us together. And I know it's a cliche, everybody says that, but it's true.
Yeah, I don't know if that amazing 24 hours of Chicago sports stopped the murdering there for any time, or maybe made them murder more. I don't know. I haven't seen the numbers from Chicago for the weekend, but that's, I can't even imagine that the city had to be good. Like, everything that could possibly have gone right over a 2-day stretch basically went right for their sports teams. Again,
the love of sports, why we love sports so much, just that outlet to be able to get away.
Now they still have the Bulls. I don't know what the WNBA team did over the weekend. I did not check to see what the Chicago WNBA team did.
The playoffs start today or tomorrow.
Do they really?
WNBA, yes. And the first couple of rounds are single elimination. So I think that Chicago team plays in a single elimination.
How about that? Fleet Feet, the place to go to get all your running gear. You want to get shoes just right for you. All you got to do is go see the folks at Fleet Feet. They will take a look at the way you run or walk, and they will fit you with shoes just right for you. You can go to either one of the 2 locations in East Memphis, Laurelwood Shopping Center. It's next to Panera Bread Company. And then out in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levy, next door to the Hueys. That's the 2 locations of Fleet Feet. All the gear you need, they've got it for you at Fleet Feet.
When we come back, some final news and notes to wrap up a Monday, and one final thing as well. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ. Listen to us daily on AM 560, 96.1 FM, or 87.7 FM.
You'll see the dedication in every single step. You'll see it in the smiles when smiles are hard to get. You'll see it in the little things that add up to success. The caring and passion are the things that we love best.
Wolf Chase Limb Brace is your Mid-South provider for orthotics and prosthetics. They are an ABC accredited facility, and their practitioners are ABC certified. At Wolf Chase Limb Brace, their services include artificial limbs, legs and arms, braces of all kinds, and custom molded inserts. You can call them today at 901-507-7821 for their location on Highway 64 in between Germantown Parkway and Appling Road, or visit them at their new location in Jackson, Tennessee. That number is 731-660-5900, or visit them on the web at wolfchaselimbembrace.com.
Wolf Chase Limb and Brace.
I'm here with outstanding team from Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway. They're online at lexusofmemphis.com. Gary, tell everyone how they can experience the Lexus of Memphis satisfaction.
Come in and be a part of our family at Lexus of Memphis. Experience the customer service that we provide to each guest like a member of our own family. If you're on the side of the road and you need us, we're there. If you need help with anything with your car, technology, Bluetooth, the app suite, we have a dedicated team to help you with this in your journey with your Lexus.
That's how they do it at Lexus of Memphis.
Great news, sports fans. The Butcher Shop Steakhouse is now open for dine-in service. Make a reservation and enjoy a mouth-watering steak dinner. Or, if you prefer, take it curbside. In addition to their fantastic steaks, the Butcher Shop Steakhouse has a variety of entrees, including Canadian lobster tail, crab-stuffed shrimp, pan-seared red snapper, and fresh ground steak burger with portobello mushroom sauce. Planning to cook out? The Butcher Shop Steakhouse offers a great selection of fresh Angus beef, hand-cut steaks and burgers, lamb chops, Atlantic salmon, and more. Make your reservation for dine-in or pre-order for curbside pickup. The Butcher Shop Steakhouse. Dine in, curbside, and delivery. Plus, enjoy the sizzle of top-quality Butcher Shop steaks on your own grill. Call us at 757-4244 and visit our website, thebutchershop.com, for menus and more. The Butcher Shop Steakhouse, Walnut Grove and Germantown Parkway.
I want to do some bragging rights. Hey, I was just the other day overhearing a conversation with Big Mike, the manager of DeSoto Auto Sales. They've got people buying cars all over the country. North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas, Texas. People from all over the country buy cars at DeSoto Auto Sales in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Why? DeSoto Auto Sales has the most stringent car inspection in America. They get it right the first time. Quality and low mileage. Factory warranty on most vehicles. My favorite part is the people who work there. Big Mike, all the employees are professional, friendly, and go that extra mile. Expect as you walk in the door, you're treated like family. DeSoto Auto Sales understands your time matters. We can help you find your dream car and get all the paperwork finished in less than an hour. Come see us at DeSoto Auto Sales and be part of our family. Have a great buying experience every time. 662-890-7184.
DQuil Pure Z's all-night bilayer tablets help you fall asleep naturally and regulate your sleep cycle so that you can take on your tomorrow. Designed with extended-release melatonin, which slowly releases up to 6 hours to help you fall asleep and stay asleep longer through the night. ZQuil Pure Z's botanical blend is made with lavender, chamomile, valerian root, and lemon balm botanicals, which have been used for centuries. ZQuil Pure Z's all night. Simple tablets with simple ingredients that are 100% drug-free and non-habit forming.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays delivered by FedEx. Visit FedEx.com/e-commerce to see how FedEx can help you start, grow, and efficiently manage your business. This hour is also brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at Quince and White Station. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Middle of the road. He's trying to find me.
Cowboys linebacker Leighton Vander Esch out 6 to 8 weeks with a broken collarbone sustained in yesterday's loss to the Rams. We mentioned some other injuries earlier in the show. Marlon Mack out for the year for the Indianapolis Colts. That's just part of the game. Those things are going to certainly add up. No question about that. Tonight, once again, doubleheader. We will pick up the Steelers-Giants game in progress at 7 o'clock. That's game one. And then that will be followed by the Titans and the Broncos. What do you expect tonight, Eli?
I expect the Steelers to win fairly easily, and I think the Titans will win.
Okay.
I'm interested to see the Titans and Tannehill now coming in with kind of some expectations, how he plays in this one. And I'm also interested to see the Broncos with Drew Lock and kind of what if he makes, they've got some pretty good weapons. Although I don't know, is Cortland Sutton out for tonight? I don't know if they've ever announced.
Yeah, I don't think they announced, but I think he's out. And then Jadeveon Clowney will be making his debut for the Titans. He hasn't been there long, but he is active and will play.
Raider Corey texts in, says, guys, just to clarify, I meant to stop showing the national anthem, not stop singing it altogether.
Gotcha.
Dre, our buddy, a Florida State fan, says, Mike Norvell first game was a loss, but I saw improvement. We still have a long way to go. The skill position players are not that good, especially James Blackman. I can't believe on Twitter they were already trying to get rid of Mike Norvell. Yeah, that's
typical fans.
That's just the Twitter world. That's the world we live in, and some frustration. But yes, I think you're in good hands down there. And once he gets a quarterback in there to run his system, and they get some help at all over the place, they'll be just fine. Time now for one final thing.
Before Greg and Eli get out of here for the day, they each have one final thing they think you should know to make it through the rest of your day. So here are Greg and Eli with one final thing.
Eli touched on this earlier about Ryan Silverfield's reaction today to some questions from the media about the weekend and the subsequent decision to pull the plug on this Friday's Memphis-Houston game, which will hopefully be able to be rescheduled for early December. And as you said, Eli, he said, let me start by saying that I'm extremely disappointed in us having to postpone our game versus Houston. As I've stated the last 6 months, the health and safety remains the number one priority for our school and for our student athletes. The next topic I'd like to address, after many discussions, we believe there was no party bus. The first we had heard of it in our program was from a media report. We were told that 2 players were picked up by a family. Yes, his parents were in an extended van outside a student housing complex. This is the same van that was used for the out-of-town family and friends to travel to the Liberty Bowl and to the game. So once again, Memphis says no party bus, and you have families coming in from outside that are obviously connected with the players before the game happened. There are other players who had to be held out, so who obviously had COVID or had some or part of COVID tracing from somebody else maybe in their family or somebody they knew. So there's all kinds of connections to kind of to put this where it wasn't just some big old party bus where 50 players jumped in and had a great time. Now, again, there is no one who has been able to confirm this nor deny this, but you have Ryan Silverville coming out and saying that they don't believe that a party bus was involved, and he tried to detail exactly what he think may have happened.
So Tiger Steve mentioned Friday night Bartlett got a big win over Christian Brothers. And Christian Brothers was 3-0 coming in. Bartlett had lost their first game. They came into Tom Nick Stadium, got a stop on a 4th and goal situation late in that game to preserve a win. And I tweeted about this Friday night. Having now seen the week prior, Christian Brothers get a big win against MUS, and watching the players celebrate that win, and watching Bartlett on Friday night, who it was a huge win for Bartlett to come into Tom Nick Stadium and knock off a Christian Brothers team that had played extremely well through the first 3 weeks. Those players were going crazy. You cannot possibly tell me that those players should be denied the opportunity to have that feeling. You cannot possibly tell me that it's the right decision. I know there are some in the media here that, for whatever their reasoning is, just cannot believe that we have the thought of playing high school football right now. And now that Lausanne had 1 player test positive, again, we should shut down the entire operation. But watch those players celebrate that win and tell me they shouldn't at least have the opportunity to choose to play and have that feeling. You cannot tell me that it's not the right decision to let these kids play if they want to do it and if their parents want them to do it.
Well said. And we should hear, I would think, sometime this week from the Shelby County schools and whether or not the public schools here in the city of Memphis will be allowed. They are allowing those schools in Nashville proper now, the public schools, to play football. Will they be allowed to play games here with the Shelby County schools? Will they get that opportunity? The opportunity that was afforded to Bartlett with Bartlett's win over Christian Brothers High School. The opportunity that was afforded to county schools and to, of course, private schools who make their own decision. But yes, the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat, a tough one for the brothers, but by gosh, that was an unbelievable win for the Bartlett Panthers. We congratulate them. We want to thank We want to thank Barrett Salih for joining us on the program today. Tomorrow, Connor O'Gara will join us. Steve Macy from the University of Memphis. We'll have our Humdingers Trivia, 2.5 questions. 5 favorite songs tomorrow. Again, the topic is down, words or songs that contain the word down in the title of the song. Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio is coming up next, so stay tuned for that. For Eli and Gabe, I'm Greg. Have a great day, everybody.
All this all go in the pot.